This is anchored by big right tackle, 6'1", 230 pounds of John Telecki. Today, the Panthers and the Rams square off for the 62nd time in a great Thanksgiving Day rivalry on the first half of the TV3 doubleheader of the week.
TV3 Action Arena, bringing you the finest in local sports programming.
TV3 Sports presents High School Football 79. This afternoon from Shaw Field in Roselle Park, the Roselle Park Panthers entertain the Roselle Rams. Hello again, everyone. I'm Bruce Beck. With me, Jeff Schneider. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And we have a whale of a football game this afternoon. The Panthers come in with a record of 8-0. They are already the state champions in Group 1 of North Jersey Section 2. And Jeff, this afternoon, well, a bit of a rivalry against crosstown rival Roselle.
This is the 62nd time the two teams have met each other, and you can throw the records out the window when these two teams get together because it will be a fiercely played rivalry, and it should be an excellent game. On offense, Roselle is led by their quarterback, John Cummins. On the season, 37 completions, 98 attempts for 703 yards, but that really doesn't tell the story. Cummins was injured for 2 games. He missed the Cranford and the Keyport game, both losses by Roselle. He came back in the second half of the Hillside game and led Roselle to a 14-7 upset against Hillside and got him back on the track.
Well, the head coach of Roselle is Lou Grasso, now in his first season. And earlier today, I asked him how he approaches this game in order for Roselle to win.
I think the key to this game is going to be ball control. I feel if we have ball control, keep the ball away from Roselle Park as much as possible, I think we can score. I know we can score. All we got to do is keep the ball away from the Schreiner brothers, stop them, make sure they don't have any breakaway runs. My kids are really up for this game. I think that they can do a fine job.
Lou Grasso, the first-year coach of Roselle, who's done an outstanding job. Last year, the club only won 1 football game. This year, they are 3-5. We swing over and begin talking about Roselle Park. And what an outstanding season they have had. They can throw the football, but their power game is running inside, and they have just the man to do it.
They sure do, and that man is number 42, Bob Schreiner. He is number 3 in the state in scoring, 136 points right now on the season. 932 yards on 168 attempts. That comes out to a little over 5.5. But Bruce, that is not the whole story of the running game for Roselle Park. They have Bob's brother, Mike Schreiner, who's only a sophomore, and so far on this season, he's got 376 yards. He too is averaging over 5.5 yards per carry.
The head coach for Roselle Park High School is Jeff Hill, now in his 5th season, and what an outstanding job he has done with this Panther program. And earlier today, I asked him why this club is so successful in 1979.
We think the season has been very successful this year due to the fact we have a tremendous amount of experience. 18 seniors this year who have played over a 3-year span and been the major part of our team. We've come from a 1-8 record where we had 5 games within 7 points of the win, to a 7-2, then to a 5-4 where we lost 2 games by field goals, and we think this is our crowning achievement and the climax of this group. We have several outstanding players in the team we think are as outstanding as any people in the state of New Jersey and deserve state recognition this year. We feel as if our team is as fine as any of the teams that have been at Roselle Park in the past, and we think we're equal to many of the outstanding teams in New Jersey.
Jeff Hill, the head coach for the Roselle Park Panthers. Well, this is the first game of the TV3 Football Thanksgiving Day doubleheader of the week, and Jeff Golden and Paul Spahala are along in Clifton for that game between the Mustangs and the Bloomfield Bengals. Let's check in with Paul and Jeff right now.
Thank you very much, Bruce Beck and Jeff Schneider, and happy Thanksgiving to you, too. Well, New Year's Day brings to mind college football, but Thanksgiving Day belongs to high school football.
Certainly right, Paul, and for years, especially before the playoff system was instituted, the day Thanksgiving Day games drew the biggest crowds. It was a day when the college kids came back to see their friends, the adult alumni were there. A very exciting day and some great traditions as well.
We've got a good one here. Let's go back to Roselle Park, but we'll be waiting for you with Bloomfield and Clifton.
Thank you very much, Paul and Jeff. We'll look forward to that second football game following this one. Jeff, this is an intense rivalry, and you have to throw the records right out the window this afternoon because there are a lot of people here, and both teams have come to play.
And this rivalry dates back, Bruce, all the way to 1915. That is the first time on record. In that game, listen to this score. Roselle won it 81-0. That first game back in 1915. Since then, though, Roselle Park has 29 wins, Roselle 25 wins, 7 ties. You can see the fans are psyched for this game. Last year, Roselle Park won it by a score of 28-16, and Bobby Schreiner had 176 yards. So we look for a big game from Bobby Schreiner. Like you said, throw the records out the window. This is a classic rivalry, and it should be a good one.
Well, all the ingredients are there, and Jeff and I will be back with the opening kickoff between Roselle Park and Roselle in just a moment on TV3.
All the natural joys of pregnancy should be yours. The planning, the wonder, even choosing your baby's name. But be sure to remember March of Dimes' advice. See a doctor as soon as possible and do what he says. Exercise, eat wisely, and get plenty of rest. You can also do your unborn another big favor. Stop smoking. The March of Dimes thinks your baby deserves the best possible start in life.
Hi, my name is Mike Festa, and I'm privileged to have a program called To Your Health, where there's a great deal of information given out in health-related problems, medical problems, and other health facilities. I'd like very much for you to watch, and if there are any questions or any programs you'd like me to run, please write or call us here at the studio. Thank you.
In the summer of 1974, just 1 year before she was going to be married, osteogenic sarcoma, a form of bone cancer, struck 19-year-old Eva Minetti. Doctors, using research supported by money you gave the American Cancer Society, tried everything possible to save her life. 1 year later, on June 28th, on the day she had planned to be married, Eva Minetti became Eva Ball and walked down the aisle right on schedule. Thanks to your help, we can save almost half the people who get cancer. Don't quit on us now. We're almost halfway there.
Back at Shaw Field, a good crowd on hand this afternoon for this great Thanksgiving Day rivalry between Roselle and Roselle Park, dating all the way back to 1915. Although some reports, Jeff, indicate that games were played before then, but no records were kept.
Yeah, they had to carve them out on the edge of stone to get the final scores on those games.
Look at the bands on the field right now. Roselle Park, also along the way, the Roselle Panthers. And Roselle in the season, as I mentioned earlier, has a record of 3-5. Victory over Verona opening day by a score of 20-15. They lost to Rahway 21-12. Bounced back with a win over Clark 32-22. But then they dropped 3 games in a row to powerful Somerville and John Williams 21-12. To Keyport in a game that they felt they should have won 14-6. To Cranford 26-22. Then the big victory over Hillside 14-7. And then they lost to Orange, who had an outstanding season, by a score of 20-6. 124 points for, 146 against.
And it should be noted, Bruce, that out of those 5 losses, 3 of those teams are in the playoffs.
And it was supposed to be a gorgeous afternoon, temperature in the 60s, and said kind of a 45-degree day, a little bit crisp, a little bit cool, but still no rain, and that's a nice sign after the kind of weather we've had this fall. And a beautiful look at the bands on hand. As I mentioned, a good crowd filling in from all sides of the field. And just a couple of moments, we'll hear our national anthem and some good football. Jeff, contrasting styles today. We'll probably see Roselle Park keeping the ball on the ground, although Roy Dragon can put it up in the air. And you'll see Roselle, if they're going to win this football game, have to put the football up in the air.
Yeah, they will. They've thrown the ball 98 times on the season. One interesting thing that could play a big part in this game is that the quarterback for Roselle Park, Roy Dragon, he's a good rusher in his own right, 240 yards on 45 carries, a little over 5 yards per play. So you can key on the two Schreiner brothers, but then all of a sudden you have a quarterback like Dragon who can roll out and do some sprints and some bootlegs and run the ball himself very effectively.
Roselle Park's record on the season, 8-0, and they have outscored opponents 267 to 41. If you figure out that average, 33.3 points for, 5.2 against. So that defense has been equally as impressive. The most points they've let up this year were 14 against Metuchen. There's quarterback Roy Dragon, 6 foot, 190-pound senior, who is the leader of this ball club and has done an outstanding job both running the football and putting it up in the air. We've got some good rivalry at Roselle High School, Jeff. Of course, Rosie Greer, a name I know you remember, played with the Giants. He came out of Roselle High School. And you also have Andy Fusco, who went to Syracuse University, was drafted by the Jets. And you may remember a good basketball player, considering you did spend most of your college years at Syracuse.
I sure do. His fellow by the name of Ross Kindle, we call him Jersey Ross, playing out of Roselle. He was the point guard for Syracuse. He graduated a year ago. I think he's living out in LA now. I know he's in some professional business. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing now, but Ross had a good career at Syracuse, moved into a starting position his sophomore year, and then started his junior and senior year for the Orangemen.
One of the interesting things about this rivalry is Roselle Park invites over the opposing team's coach and also a lot of the fathers of the opposing team, and during the week they have this Dad's Club dinner, and it's really a special evening. Right now, the Roselle High School Marching Band and our national anthem. Roselle High School playing a Thanksgiving Day song. Nice job by the Roselle High School band and a Thanksgiving Day song. And now, Roselle Park High School band and the playing of our national anthem. Fine job by the Roselle Park High School Marching Band, our national anthem, and we'll get ready for football right now.
Bruce, one thing interesting to note is for Roselle Park, Jeff Hill in his season number 5 as head coach for the Panthers. He has done a marvelous job in turning this team around. In 1975, the team was 1-7-1. In 76, they were 1-8. And then in 1977, the team built up to the 7-2 mark, 5-4 last year, and then the undefeated season so far this year.
The officials for this afternoon's game, the referee is John Stamler, the field judge Al Shipley, Pete Kreutzberger is your umpire, Stan Kozarowski is your head linesman, and Gene Hupka is up here in the booth as the official timer. And out there at center field, Roy Dragon, Bobby Schreiner for Roselle Park. And out there for Roselle, John Telecki, and also John Cummins.
Another thing we'll be looking for today is Bobby Schreiner, who's only 68 yards away from having 1,000-yard rushing, as we look at the Roselle cheerleaders across the way. There's the toss of the coin.
It has been won by Roselle, has won the toss, elected to receive. Roselle Park will kick off, defend the goal to our right. Roselle Park wears the maroon jerseys and Roselle in the white with the red numbers. So the Rams will have an opportunity to get the football first. And there you look at Roselle Park getting out there to boot the football away. And this afternoon, Roselle Park with a chance to finish out 1979 with an undefeated season. And not too many teams in the state can say they finished undefeated. Roselle Park's record, 8-0, and Jeff, there are the victories. Chatham Borough 31-0, Immaculata 21-6, victory over Spotswood, then the shutout over Manville, big win over Kenilworth, a shutout over Bound Brook, a giant victory 44-14 over Metuchen, 22-6 over Hillsborough, 267 points for, 41 against, and as I mentioned earlier, 33.3 points a game for, 5.2 against.
Well, it's the high-powered Roselle Park offense which will be going against this Roselle defense, and it's a stubborn defense for Roselle. They've given up a lot of points, but they really are tight in. They play the run very well. And as we said in the opening, Bruce, let's throw the records out the window, because in this rivalry, almost anything, and it has happened.
Bobby Schreiner will kick off for Roselle Park. And back deep for Roselle. Ronnie Brown and Gary Howard. I'm sorry, Darrell Smith, number 32. So you have two burners back there, and Brown and Smith, and Bob Schreiner set to tee things off. Here we go, Thanksgiving Day football, 1979, a classic rivalry begun in 1915, and the 1979 game underway. Schreiner kicks it, taken short by one of the up men, Keith Starks. Starks still running at the 20 and goes down around the 22-yard line. And that's where Roselle will put it in play, 1st and 10. The interior line for Roselle this afternoon. On the left side, John Maloney and Andre Hunt. The center is Phil Schoenfeld. The right side, Kenny Maloney and John Telecki. Quarterback, John Cummings, and in the backfield, Billy McCoy, Darrell Smith, Ron Brown. Your receivers, Derek Walker and Ralph Alderman. Cummings, number 22, leads them out from the 22-yard line. I formation for Roselle. They'll use a variety of eyes with a wing tee and also with a slot eye. Cummings rolling to his right on 1st down. Looking to the air. Keeps the football and gets racked up on the play.
This vaunted Roselle Park defense containing Cummins on that play. Let's set them defensively. At the ends, they'll have Joe LeBrace and Bruno D'Amato. The tackles, Joey Belford. Les Swick will start in place of Mike Turnick, and the middle guard will be John Papchak. The linebackers, Bobby Schreiner, Bob Mikado, and Mike Schreiner. And in the backfield, Joe McGinnis, Roy Dragon, and Mark Rusin.
Second down and call it 9 yards to go for the Rams. Tight formation on the left side, I formation. First running play of the afternoon, Darrell Smith gets the call, turns the corner at the 25, and is upended at the 26. Mike Schreiner came up from his right side linebacker to make the stop.
Now these linebackers for Roselle Park are very mobile. They move very well off the ball. The preceding play before that on the rollout by Cummins, I noticed that 42, Bobby Schreiner, had picked up Darrell Smith coming out of the backfield, forcing Cummins to roll out and run with the football instead of possibly throwing it downfield.
3rd and 6 from the 26. I formation for Roselle. Cummins back to pass. Sprinting out to the left side, has some running room across the 30 and short of the first down. Excellent tackle made by Mike Schreiner on the far side of the field. And so the Rams will have to punt it away on 4th down.
Mike Schreiner coming up from his right linebacker position, cutting off the field for Cummins to run it to. Cummins might have had an open receiver down here on the side, Ronnie Brown, out of the wingback position, but he wasn't looking to that side. He was looking the other way, and Schreiner stopped him from getting that first down. We'll look at it again. Cummins looking in the direction of Brown, but then saw that he had no place to go, ran with the ball, and Schreiner stopped him.
Andre Hunt back to punt for Roselle, and somebody jumped offside on the right side, and the flag will be against Roselle.
Looked like number 45, Keith Starks, jumping the gun a little bit for Roselle on that formation. Might get a bit over anxious here in the early stages of this game, waiting for everybody to come down. Roselle, as they have said, as Coach Lou Grasso has said, absolutely nothing to lose in this game. They can just go all out and pull out all the plugs.
Back deep, Roy Dragon, Mike Schreiner. High snap, and in big trouble, now running out to the right side is Hunt, and he is snowed under. And Roselle Park will have excellent field position as they take over deep in Roselle territory.
Big Les Swick coming out off that pile, number 66, applying the crusher on the punter. It was a high snap from center, and Roselle Park gets the first break of the game.
Offensive line, Les Swick, Chris Vita, Mike Cohn, Mike Tiernick, Joe Belford for Roselle Park. Roy Dragon, the quarterback, Bobby Schreiner, Mike Schreiner, Mark Rusin, Terry Murphy, Kevin Purcell, the receivers. First down from the 15-yard line for Roselle Park. Dragon takes it right up the middle, gets 5 on the play. But a flag down.
Roselle Park defensively now, as we'll set them. At the ends, it'll be Ralph Alderman and Andre Hunt. The tackles, Willie Bulger and John Tyletke. And the middle guard is John Davis. Left linebacker, Billy McCoy. Right linebacker, Keith Starks. The secondary men are Berrigan and Chris Satterfield at the cornerbacks. Berners Harvard is the safety, along with Manny Slaughter.
So 5 yards marked off against Roselle Park. They will have a 1st and 15 on the Roselle 20-yard line. 10:02 to go, first quarter from Shaw Field in Roselle Park. Kevin Purcell wide right, rest of the ball club tight. Now they split out. Purcell comes tight, and going to the left side is Terry Murphy. In motion, Rusin. Bobby Schreiner gets the call, cracks the left side of the line, and gets about 6.
Bobby Schreiner going off the left side, being led by big Les Swick and Chris Vita. Swick is a wrestler for this team also. He's a varsity wrestler, and Vita's big, strong, and look again at Bobby Schreiner. Going up the middle, good lead back block by brother Mike.
Gain of actually 8 on the play. Call it 2nd down and 8 for Roselle Park. Roy Dragon barking signals. Bobby Schreiner gets the call off the left side inside the 10-yard line. And it will bring up a 3rd down and less than 5. Bobby Schreiner, 136 points on the season. He has scored 18 touchdowns. He has kicked 10 extra points. And he has also run for 2-point conversions. He has kicked 7 extra points and run for 9 2-point conversions. Add 1 field goal to his credit. He does it all. 3rd down and 4 for Roselle Park on the 8-yard line. Mike Schreiner inside. And he stopped, I believe, short of the 1st down. It will bring up 4th down and short.
Billy McCoy, the left side linebacker, cutting out the legs behind Mike Schreiner, making a good play and forcing them into this 4th down play, and it'll see what they can do on this first 4th down conversion attempt of the afternoon.
4th and 2 at the 7. John Papchak in the ball game for Roselle Park. Single setback behind Dragon is Bob Schreiner. Dragon rolling to his right side. Penalty flag goes down. Loose football. Roselle recovers. Hold everything. Flags down.
The defense.
And they tried to run the bootleg to the right side, but Roselle was not fooled at all.
No, big left end Ralph Alderman was standing right in the way of Dragon that time as he started his bootleg, and he messed up the play. Looks like the penalty is going to go against Roselle Park, so Roselle probably will refuse it. They do, and it's 1st and 10 for Roselle. And Ralph Alderman, the left end, really made that play go as he forced Dragon to move back to the inside, and that's where the contact was made and the ball was jarred loose.
Holding the calls, we look at once again.
There's Big Ralph.
Good play defensively by Alderman. And so Roselle will take over from their own 10. They decline the penalty, and they will move from deep in their own territory. Handoff, loose football, back in the end zone. Still loose. And it will be a touchback.
I just think it's going to be a safety, Bruce. I think they're going to give him 2 points out of the deal.
First indication seemed to be a touchback. But it is a safety and 2 points for Roselle Park. And if you've ever turned on a TV3 football game, I can't remember the last time it was 2-zip.
It's been a long time. I haven't seen one this year.
Coach Jeff Hill shouting some instructions. And now Roselle will have to punt from their own 20-yard line. They have the choice to punt or place kick.
They tried a delayed misdirection on the play, and the handoff, it looked like the quarterback might have ran into the running back, and the handoff was there, and the defender was there, and the ball just was jarred free, and then there was a big pile up in the end zone before one of the Roselle Park, or actually one of the Roselle men recovered their own fumble in the end zone, resulting in the safety.
Back deep for Roselle Park, Mike Schreiner and Roy Dragon. And he will tee off this football via the place kick. Willie Bolger will kick. And Roselle Park will quickly get the football back. 7:39 first quarter, 2-0 Roselle Park leads. Bolger hits it, handled by Dragon at the 40, across the 50, across the 45, and down at the 43-yard line where Roselle Park will put it in play again, 1st and 10.
Good field position for Roselle Park following the free kick. That time Dragon really accelerating. He got almost alongside his wedge. He almost outran it.
If the ball, Jeff, would have gone out of the end zone, then it would have been a touchback, I believe. Now a timeout taken on the field by Roselle Park.
Looked like Roy Dragon came off to the sideline with a bit of a limp following that, and number 9, Joe McGinnis, who's a 5'10", 168-pound junior, is checking into the lineup. Now McGinnis comes back to the sideline. And looks like he's going to practice some snaps now on the sideline.
So the clock is stopped at 7:19 in the first quarter. Packed house here at Shaw Field. Our first coverage of a fall sport at either Roselle or Roselle Park High School. After the activation last spring, we had the opportunity to do some baseball games, but this is the first football telecast, and we hope you're enjoying it right here on TV3.
Interesting, during that timeout, Joe McGinnis came back, found one of the reserve centers, took one snap back from the center, said, okay, I'm ready, I'm warmed up, went right back into the action, and now he's going to be the quarterback. And let's hope that the injury to Dragon is not serious, as he's bent over on the sideline trying to shake it off.
And so they will have to go with their backup quarterback, Joe McGinnis. Both Shriners in the backfield. Bob Schreiner gets the call, left side, 35, and inside the 30 for a first down. He really exploded that time.
He did. He got through that hole very fast. There's Roy Dragon on the sideline trying to shake off whatever injury. It looks like it's an upper leg injury. We don't want to speculate on something like that. Left side safety, Vernis Harvard, stopping Schreiner on that play, but a big hole opening up for Schreiner, and there's Vernis Harvard dragging him down.
Ball at the 29-yard line of Roselle, 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Mike Schreiner and Bobby right behind McGinnis. Mike Schreiner to the right side, and he is buried. Back at the 33-yard line, Ralph Alderman led the charge.
Ralph Alderman led the defensive charge, and Kevin Berringen, coming in from his left cornerback position, turned the play into Alderman. Good defensive reaction that time by the Roselle defense, forcing them back, and now Roy Dragon comes back into the lineup, so he missed only 2 plays, and he's back in now for this 3rd down play.
Second down, 15 to go. Dragon back in there at quarterback. Good news for Panther fans. Bobby Schreiner to the right side, gets only a couple of yards, and Roselle defensively looks fired up so far. The only points they've given up were actually when they had the ball offensively.
They do, and Ralph Alderman, again, the man making the play, fighting off the block by the right guard, Mike Turnick. Alderman was able to fight him off and stop Schreiner short of that first down.
So we have 3rd down, 13 to go. And let's see if the Panthers put it up in the air for the first time today. Dragon can throw the football. He's thrown for better than 50%. He's back to pass. He throws incomplete, intended for Mike Schreiner. So it will bring up a 4th and 13 at the 33-yard line of Roselle.
And I'll tell you something, Schreiner was wide open that time on the left side. One of the linebackers, the linebacker responsible for him, was late in getting over there, and Schreiner was wide open, but the pass was overthrown, incomplete. So now on 4th down and 13 yards to go, we'll see if they're going to go for the first or whether they're going to try a placement. Looks like they're going to go, Bruce.
See if they go to the air again. Dragon barking signals. Rolls to his left side, throwing for Murphy, incomplete, and a flag is down on the play. Chris Satterfield was back there, and I believe he's called for the infraction.
Good call by the official. Satterfield looked like he was going for the tackle on the receiver. The pass was way overthrown. There was no reason for it, but Satterfield grabbed him from behind, and hence the penalty. It's a big one, pass interference, and gives him an automatic first down.
It'll be a 15-yard penalty marked off from the line of scrimmage in high school football, and won't be an automatic first down, I do believe, but it should be enough. There's Jeff Hill. Across the way, Lou Grosso in his first season at Roselle High School. He has lost several games by close scores. He has also played, Jeff, some very tough opponents.
He has. We said before, 3 of the teams that he lost to went to the playoffs. Rahway, Somerville, and Orange. So 3 tough teams, 3 tough losses that time for Roselle during the season.
His victory over Hillside really eliminated the comments from state tournament play. 1st and 10 for the Panthers, ball on the 17-yard line. 5:21 first quarter. Mike Schreiner went down, he touched the surface, and he loses 3 on the play. It comes back to the 20-yard line. And so far, the offense has been sputtering just a bit for Roselle Park.
It has. They've been getting the ball in good field position and have been getting breaks, but really has not been able to move the ball too effectively so far. They only have 2 points on the safety. I'll tell you something, Bruce, considering it hasn't rained in the past couple of days, that field is very slick and a little bit slippery in spots.
There's the score, 2-0. Roselle Park leads 4:51 first quarter. Mike Schreiner in motion. Bobby Schreiner gets the call straight up the middle. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and it's 3rd down, about 10.
A lot of motion on that play as Dragon rolled out. He handed it off to Bobby Schreiner, the first man through. Then the play continued around with Mike Schreiner coming around and Dragon rolling out. But Schreiner testing the middle of that Roselle defense and found not much yardage there, bringing up another 3rd and long.
Phil Woods goes wide to the right side. Mike Schreiner in the wing position on the left. Bobby Schreiner gets the call to the 15, to the 10, and he's finally dragged down inside the 5. First down, an excellent run by Bob Schreiner.
Well, so far, every time they've tested the left side of that Roselle defense, they have ran effectively. Actually, it's the left side of their offense running against the right side of the defense. That is where they have gotten their yardage. We'll look at it again. Just a quick off tackle, beautiful blocking. And Schreiner got off in the open and got about 3 or 4 yards by himself before he was finally dragged out by Tim Cook.
Goal to go for Roselle Park at the 4. Bobby Schreiner straight up the middle and in for a touchdown. Roselle Park leads by a score of 8-0, and for Bob Schreiner, his 19th touchdown of the season.
Quite a season this young man is having. Bobby Schreiner, he's a senior, 5'10", 205 pounds. His 19th touchdown of the season. Again, off tackle going off the left side of his offensive line following good blocking. They opened it up, and Roselle Park now has an 8-0 lead, and Schreiner will try to make the conversion.
Roy Dragon will hold. Bobby will try to make it 9-zip. Good snap. And the kick is off to the right side. Let's watch the touchdown once again, Jeff.
Touchdown number 19, Schreiner, off tackle right side, using his strength, barreling through some good blocks, and he got into the end zone for the touchdown.
Got a good block from Mike Cohn, who's the center, 6'1", 190-pound senior who has had an outstanding season. And it's an 8-0 ball game, 3:44 to go. And that extra point, rather big, because if Roselle can score a touchdown and go for 2, they can tie the football game.
Tie him up instead of being a point behind is certainly right, a big extra point. Of course, they're all big points. We saw, especially last week in the playoff game between Union and Belleville, a 2-point conversion made by Union, and then conversions missed by Belleville later on in the game, and it really became key as the game went on. 43-yard drive in that last play for Roselle Park, Bruce, but the big play, a pass interference penalty against Roselle on a 4th down and 13, keeping the drive alive, and then Roselle Park was able to go in for the touchdown.
In that Belleville Union game, both teams scored 2 touchdowns, but the extra points provided the final margin of difference, 15-12, exactly, but both teams did score the same amount of touchdowns. Bob Schreiner will kick off to Roselle. Short kick, and it's bounced. That's a loose ball, and it goes out of bounds. That was an onside kick, and a couple of times this year we've seen that happen where the ball is kind of loose and no one wants to pick it up.
That's what happens there. That ball is a free ball. Either team can cover it. It just kind of bounced until it, I don't know what they're going to call here. If it went out of bounds, it should be a 5-yard penalty, and that's
if it went out of bounds here, it's going to be first down for Roselle on their own 40-yard line.
I remember that rule from a few games back.
That's right. We saw that in the Livingston-Columbia game, and Phil DiDomenico tries to keep me on my toes with the official calls.
That's right. He quizzes you pretty good there.
1st and 10. A couple little mistakes today, but we'll try to keep you abreast of what's happening. From the 40, good field position for the Rams. Clock shows 3:44 in the first quarter. Ronnie Brown in motion to the left. Straight up the middle, bouncing off one man, Billy McCoy. McCoy still going. And he makes a nice gain out of it, considering he was popped at the line of scrimmage. A gain of 6 for Billy McCoy.
McCoy going off and run around the left side. And there was really not much room there, and he made the room himself. Well, look again. Takes the pop, goes around the side. There's a good block thrown, and he gets some good yardage close to midfield.
Billy McCoy, 377 yards, a 5.8 average on the 79 season. Derek Walker comes wide to the right side. Johnny Cummins barking signals. In motion, Ronnie Brown. Pitch back, and turning that corner with a pretty nice move is Darrell Smith. He has a first down on the Park 45.
Darrell Smith showing really good speed that time. He outran his blockers, his right tackle, John Teletke, and also Billy McCoy, who were blocking on him. He outran both of them and got some good yardage. Let's look again. You'll see him go past 39 and 70, 79 and 34, and get into the secondary before he was finally brought down.
On the 45, Rams on the march, 1st and 10. Under 3 now in our first quarter. 8-0 Roselle Park leads. Inside handoff to Billy McCoy. Breaks the tackle again. McCoy to the outside. inside the 40 to the 38. So far, hard running by Billy McCoy.
I'll tell you, that would have been some great open field tackle by Mike Schreiner if he had been able to bring McCoy down. But McCoy got through his grasp. It was a delayed draw going up the middle. It was wide open on that left side, really. Look at how wide open this is. Schreiner just misses the tackle. He got him to lose his balance. And then finally, Dragon brought him down.
Gain of 7 on the play. 2nd and 3 at the 38-yard line. Derek Walker to the right side. Ronnie Brown in the wing spot on the left. Brown in motion. Pitch back to Darryl Smith, and Bobby Schreiner made an outstanding defensive play.
What a great play by Bobby Schreiner. He just totally creamed the running back as he got that ball. As a little bit of a high of a pitch back. Watch the play again. Boom.
He didn't have much time to think that time. 3rd and now 12. Derek Walker wide left. And this time Ronnie Brown comes wide to the right side. I formation for the Rams. Cummings, quick toss across the middle to Timmy Cook for a first down at the 30-yard line. Good call.
Just a quick toss to Timmy Cook going up the middle. The middle linebacker, Bob Mikado, lunged for the ball. It just went off a little bit too out of his grasp. Made the reception and got a good yardage on the play. Good play. Timmy Cook going over the middle.
56 seconds left, first quarter. On the 29 of Roselle Park, the Rams have a first down. They trail in the football game 8-0. Billy McCoy gets the call, and he is racked up again by Bobby Schreiner for a loss of a yard on the play. And Schreiner really reads plays well, and you know he's got the speed. He really knows how to pursue.
He does, and what's happening is that the lead blocker is the man who's responsible for picking off the linebacker, and Schreiner is getting such good acceleration and such good burst off the ball and reading the play so well that the blocker, he's past the blocker by the time the ball carrier gets to him.
2nd and 11, Walker wide left, Ron Brown wide right. Johnny Cummings back to pass. Rolling out to his left. Cummings still looking. Throws, and it's intercepted. Beautiful play by Mark Rusin. And the Panthers with their 21st interception of the year in the secondary.
They really do read the ball very well. They're all over that football. For Mark Rusin, his 3rd interception of the season. Like you said, 21 interceptions for a team. That is a really great statistic.
And that is it for the first quarter of play from Shaw Field in Roselle Park. The score, the Panthers 8, the Rams nothing. Back with more football in a moment.
Second with a match, and America the Beautiful becomes America the Ugly. Please, help prevent forest fires.
At Shaw Field, 8-0 the score. The Panthers lead, and a great interception by Mark Rusin, snuffing out a Roselle drive.
Rusin reading the play really well, stepping right in front of the intended receiver, picking off, we said, his 3rd interception of the year. Big defensive play, stopping Roselle from getting on that scoreboard, as Roselle had a nice drive moving down the field that time, getting deep into Roselle Park territory, but the Panthers get it right back.
So from the 20-yard line, it's 1st and 10. Roy Dragon back in there at quarterback. Hands off to Bob Schreiner, and he goes down immediately, and a fine defensive play by Billy McCoy. So it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Roselle Park offense, which has been on high gear the entire season, a little bit slow in the going today. But it's tough to keep a club like this down for 4 quarters. They break the huddle and send John Papchek to the right side. Out to the left side, Phil Woods. In motion, Papchek. Inside handoff, Mike Schreiner. Big hole. Puts the head down, gets up near the 28-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and short.
Manny Slaughter coming up from his right safety position, sticking his head into Schreiner's gut and bringing him down. That's got to hurt when you walk into a receiver with your head first.
Here's another look at it, Jeff. Look at him put the head down, too, at the end.
Really? Ooh. Ooh. Concussion time.
That's for sure. 3rd down and 3. Just underway here in the 2nd quarter. Bruce Beck and Jeff Schneider for TV3 Sports. 3 men in the backfield behind Dragon. And Bob Schreiner gets the call straight up the middle. Very close to a 1st down. They mark it short. It'll be 4th down, and the Panthers will have to punt it away.
Well, from deep in their own territory, they're going to be kicking. A good defensive play by Roselle, holding the Panthers, forcing them to punt, and once again, they'll get the ball. They should get it in half-decent field position out of this exchange. And they looked well offensively the last time they had it until the interception.
Mike Schreiner back to punt. Dropping back deep for Roselle. Billy McCoy and company. Schreiner gets away a beautiful boot. It's handled by Ronnie Brown at the 40. And Brown gets up near the 50. So again, Roselle with good field position. And this has been a stingy football game right from the very beginning.
It has, and both teams, though, have really come away with good field position. Neither team has been able to pin the other team back with their backs to the goal line. So each team has been able to get the ball in good shape. Roselle has moved the ball, it seems, better than the Roselle Park team has so far, but Roselle Park has 8 points on the scoreboard. That's the important thing.
So from the midfield stripe, 1st and 10 for the Rams. Johnny Cummings leads out the ball club. Straight up the middle, Darrell Smith, and he's met by a couple of players, namely Les Swick, and he loses a couple of yards after he went straight up the middle, and they'll credit him with a gain of 2. So it'll be 2nd down and 8. And there's Lou Grasso, who said that this football team was going to give Roselle Park a run for their money today, and they are doing that.
He said they have absolutely nothing to lose. They're coming into the game 3-5. Roselle Park's the team that's undefeated. Nothing to lose at all for the Rams.
Derek Walker split to the right side. And Ronnie Brown comes out to the left. I formation behind John Cummings. Cummings back to pass. Throws the swing pass. Excellent reception by Cook. 40, 35, and a 1st down for Roselle. And they've thrown the short pass so far today very effectively.
They did, and Timmy Cook making a beautiful one-handed grab of that play. Mikado, the middle linebacker, and Rusin, the right halfback, finally combined to stop him. Watch this catch by Cook, a beauty. One hand, brings it into his stomach, makes the reception, and then had good running room before he was brought down.
So a pickup of 21 yards on the play. It's down to the 27-yard line of Roselle Park. Coming straight handoff to Billy McCoy. Flag down on the play. Tackle made by Bruno D'Amato.
That flag is in the holding area, but we'll wait for the official word.
That's exactly what it is, Jeff. Offensive holding against Roselle, and that will push them 15 yards back.
Boy, a penalty like that really just kills all the momentum of an offensive drive, because now instead of being 1st down and 10, it goes up to 1st and 25, and it's taking you 2 downs almost to get the penalty back before you can worry about getting the 10 yards for the 1st.
Let's see if this forces Cummins maybe to throw a pass across the middle, or if he elects to keep the ball in that short passing game. John Stamler, your official today, your head referee, and he indicates the offensive holding call against Roselle. 8:50, 2nd quarter from Shaw Field in Roselle Park. The Panthers lead by a score of 8-0, trying to keep that unbeaten streak alive and finish with a 9-0 record. Derek Walker comes wide left. Ronnie Brown wide right, I formation for the Rams. Cummins back to pass, sets the screen up to the left. Billy McCoy across the 35 and down to about the 34. Well, you've got to do that. Pick up 7 or 8 on the first play instead of going for broke.
That screen was set up nicely, and Johnny Papchek made a great play in coming back. He almost was able to grab McCoy back of the line of scrimmage, but McCoy was still able to gain some yardage on the screen, Still second down. They still have a ways to go, though. Second down, we'll call it about 17 yards.
The ball just inside the 35 of Roselle Park. Cummins, long count. Inside handoff to Ron Brown, and he goes absolutely nowhere. Bob Mercado made the stop with some help from Bruno D'Amato. D'Amato is only a junior, but considered the best pass rusher for this Roselle Park team.
He is. He gets in there quick. D'Amato, 5'10", 156-pound junior. That was the play they fumbled on the safety. That misdirection play on a delay going to Ronnie Brown from his wingback position, and it didn't fool the defense that time either.
Third down and 18 yards to go. Derek Walker comes to the left side, and Ronnie Brown goes wide to the right. Passing situation for the Rams. Cummins back to throw. Looking, throwing long. And it's caught by Ronnie Brown for a touchdown. Oh, a beautiful reception by Ronnie Brown, and the Rams are back in this football game.
Beautiful, beautiful play. Cummins faking the run, and then on 3rd and long, unloading one. Out into there for the touchdown to Ronnie Brown. And they are back into this game. And
I'll tell you that Ronnie Brown can fly.
And if we get to see the replay, though, Bruce, you'll see that the left halfback, Joe McGinnis, attempted to go for the ball and not the man, and that was a mistake because the ball went over his outstretched hands and into the arms of the receiver.
Roselle will go for the 2-point conversion. They now trail by a score of 8-6. Cummins hit in the backfield, loose football, and so the 2-point conversion snubbed out. But Roselle has come back to cut the lead to 8-6 on a beautiful pass reception by Ron Brown from a Johnny Cummings throw.
Good defensive play that time by the Roselle Park team, as they had about 10 men on that line, and they all got a good rush off the ball, forcing Cummins to fumble the ball on the 2-point conversion. And a 2-point conversion goes for naught, so it stays 8-6 Roselle Park.
Good football game, and we have seen a lot of those lately.
Yeah, after the beginning of the season, we saw a lot of lopsided games. In the last few weeks, they have really come on to play some good, close football games, Bruce.
Back treat, Roy Dragon for Roselle Park. They have already given up 6 points, which is more than they average giving up, but you look at Mike Schreiner.
Well, the most points anybody has scored against them this year is 14 points. And we're early in this game. Roselle has 6 already.
Kicking off will be Willie Bolger for Roselle. 7:02 to go in the second quarter. And a dandy of a football game. 8-6, Roselle Park leads. Bolger hits it to Dragon, who takes it at the 15, across the 20, gets to the near side, and goes down at the 30. Good open field tackle made by Derek Walker. And so the Panthers will put it in play from their own 30-yard line, and let's see if they can establish that ball control drive.
They haven't so far in the game. Roselle has done a good job in containing this running game of the Panthers. Roy Dragon looks like maybe he has some equipment repair. It looks like one of his shin guards or something has ripped off his pants leg, so the official timeout for uniform repair here is Roy Dragon over the sideline with one of the officials.
Don't forget, immediately following this football game, we have one between the Bloomfield Bengals and the Clifton Mustangs. Clifton already with a big victory in the first round of the state playoffs, and the Bengals looking to avenge the loss of a year ago. A great game that went right down to the wire. And Bloomfield Clifton, similar to this game, Jeff, you can throw those records out the window because when you have a significant rivalry, emotion is usually high.
Well, that's one of the reasons that well, I'll get into that thought in a minute. There's something talking about the playoff controversy we had a couple of weeks ago dealing with these Thanksgiving days. We'll get it after this play.
Dragon calling signals for Roselle Park. Bobby Schreiner, 35-yard line, straight up the middle, across the 40 for a first down. And you got a good look at Schreiner's power.
Great run by Schreiner off the left side of the offensive line, getting into the secondary and making good extra yardage. You know, you talk about the Thanksgiving Day rivalries, as we'll look again at Schreiner. Good hole. One of the things that was proposed for the playoff situation was to play an extra week and eliminate the Thanksgiving days. You can't eliminate these rivalry games.
1st and 10 for Roselle Park at the 41. 11-yard pickup by Schreiner, getting closer and closer to 1,000. Mike Schreiner, second effort, gets maybe a yard or two on the play. Good hit by Andre Hunt.
They're running effectively off the left side. That has basically been their strength in this game. When they try the right side, as Terry Murphy checks into the lineup, along with Mark Royson. Les Swick and Chris Viter, the left tackle, left guard, those have been the two main men that they have been running off of so far this afternoon.
Murphy wide left. 2nd down and 8 for the Panthers. Ball at the 42. Mike Schreiner bounces off one man, pops his way to the 47. Good second effort by Schreiner. Bounced off the tackle of Billy McCoy and Ralph Olderman.
Good second effort is right, but again, there was nobody home on the right side as they attempted to run right. Schreiner, just on second effort himself, was able to duck under the tackler and go back up the middle and gain a couple of yards. There's one of the pretty Roselle Park cheerleaders. You can invite her over for Thanksgiving.
3rd down and 4. 5:08 to go in the first half. In motion, John Papchek. Bobby Schreiner gets the call, has the first down. And he just goes right behind that offensive line, which has done an outstanding job this year. Les Swick, Chris Vita, Mike Cohn, Mike Turnick, and Joe Belford. And he just puts the head down and follows him straight up the middle. He is kind of like Ignatowicz in the sense that he's a bruising hard runner, and after you play a game against him, you're going to be a little bit sore.
Right, and you can contain him for so long until finally he's going to break that big one against him. Merklinger is into that mold also.
And they're each different sizes. One about 6'1", Ignatowicz, Schreiner about 5'11", Merklinger only about 5'8". But they are very compact runners.
Right. Built, you know, they run very well. They keep their balance well, and they're able to make the cutbacks. That's the sign of a good runner.
Ignatowicz not quite as stocky as the other two. Bob Schreiner has just gained his 1,000th yard of the season, and he is being awarded a football by Roselle Park. 1,000 yards in 1979. That is some achievement.
And it sure didn't take him long to get it in this game. He needed 68 yards coming in, so we know he's at least at 68 yards with still 4.5 minutes to go. But 1,000 yards in any season, high school, college, or pro, and you are really doing your job. 1,000 yards, 19 touchdowns. Quite a way to end his high school career, Bob Schreiner.
1st and 10 for the Panthers. Dragon optioning to the right side. Pitches back to Mike Schreiner. 45, 40, first down, or very close to a first down. And Dragon did a nice ball handling move in the backfield.
He did. He faked the ball really nicely, rolling out to his right side and then pitching it back out to Mike Schreiner. And we talk about Bobby Schreiner playing his final college game, final high school game, I should say, as we look at Mike Schreiner going down the sideline. Look at the way he's holding the ball. That's a little dangerous.
He's carrying it the way Sayers used to carry it.
But we talk about Bobby Schreiner ending his high school career. Mike Schreiner only a sophomore, so at least there'll be a Schreiner gaining yardage for Roselle Park for the next couple of years.
And there's a James Schreiner down in the Pop Warner League who's also good. Had 7 touchdowns this year.
He's coming up.
Bob Schreiner straight up the middle, gets about 3 or 4 yards. Tackle made by Willie Bolger. I was talking to James yesterday and today, and he mans the sidelines, walking around, doing anything he can on a given Saturday. Wears number 42, I think. Isn't that interesting?
I wonder why.
2nd down and 6. 3:53 in the first half. 8-6, Roselle Park leads. Bob Schreiner straight up the middle. Good second effort. Inside the 30 to the 29. It'll be 3rd down, about 3. And this is a typical Roselle Park drive. They're running the ball, mixing it up, going to the outside, going to the inside.
Yeah, this is the best the offense has looked so far in this game. They're really moving the ball down the field nicely, as the Rams are going to take a timeout now and try and set this defense together and find out why all of a sudden Roselle Park is moving the ball on offense and how they can contain them.
Jeff Hill on to talk to his Roselle Park team, and Tony Shaw, the assistant to Lou Grasso, out to talk to members of Roselle. The assistant coaches for Jeff Hill and the Panthers are John Wagner, Frank Antonelli, and Pat Spagnoletti. the athletic director at Roselle Park, Bill Clark, and we'd like to thank him for all his help and cooperation here at Shaw Field this afternoon. And the athletic director for Roselle, Charles Trebray. And we look forward to the association between these two schools in the near future.
It's one of the Roselle Park cheerleaders, and there's head coach Jeff Hill.
3:33 first half. Roselle Park struck first, recovering a safety, and since that point, at the 5:44 mark of the first quarter, Bobby Schreiner went in on a 4-yard run to cap a 43-yard drive. That's the way the first quarter ended, 8-0. But Roselle at 7:02 of the second quarter on a Ronnie Brown 35-yard pass reception from John Cummings cut the lead to 8-6, and that's where we stand right now. 3rd and 3. And I'd bet number 42 is going to get the call in this situation. Bob Schreiner gets it to the left side, first down, 25, and just bouncing along to the 20, but a flag is down on the play.
John Papchak, the lead blocker, looks like he's going to be called for a hold on that play as he swung his arm in and around one of the Roselle defenders, and that is the call, a holding penalty against Roselle Park.
It hurt the Rams in one of their drives, and now it hurts the Panthers.
Well, the Rams were able to come back from that holding penalty, though, as they were able to get the touchdown pass right after it. And now let's see what Roselle Park can do. They had the first down there. The holding penalty negates that and brings it back 15 yards, and it brings up a 3rd, and instead of 3 yards, it'll be 3rd and 18.
At halftime, we'll bring you the band show, and we look forward to an excellent halftime show here on Thanksgiving Day. There's the penalty. Holding against the Panthers. And as you mentioned, Jeff, it's 3rd down and long instead of a first down.
Well, Mr. Dragon's going to have to go crank the old arm up now and throw it.
Let's see what happens. He sends Terry Murphy to the right side and Kevin Purcell on the left. Dragon rolling to the right, looking for Terry Murphy. Throws it out there. Murphy incomplete. He had to turn a couple of different directions. And Dragon threw the ball pretty well.
He did. He had him turning every which way, though. And
every which way but loose?
Every which way but into his hands, basically. And he just could not grab the ball.
Official time taken on the field. 3:07 to go in the first half.
I knew you were a Clint Eastwood fan.
Absolutely. I loved every flick. Checking in for Roselle Park, Bruno D'Amato. And I think they're going to be punting this one away.
You can hear Coach Hill on the sideline shouting, "Punt team, everybody out there, make sure there's 11 guys."
Mike Schreiner drops back in punt formation for Roselle Park. Flag down, Schreiner hits a beauty, coffin corner, and it goes out around the 5-yard line, but a flag is down on the play.
It's a flag down. There could be too many men on the field.
Schreiner put that one right where you wanted to put it, at as close to the goal line as possible.
It's against Roselle.
Penalty is called against Roselle. Let's see if Roselle Park will go for it now on 4th down.
Let's see where they'll place that ball. It looks like they're going to place it at around the 36-yard line. An illegal substitution was the call made against Roselle on that play. So while we heard Roselle Park making sure that there were 11 men on the field, Roselle was doing some illegal substituting of their own, and hence the penalty.
And now the Panthers will go for it. 4th down, 10 yards to go. Dragon rolling to his right side, looks for Purcell, throws it instead to Bobby Schreiner, short of the first down. Or very close.
He's not short by much. The Roselle defense is signaling that it's their ball. We'll wait for the official to give the signal. He's going to take an official timeout. We might get a measurement here.
Jeff, it looks a little bit short at the 27.
It does look short, but the chains are on the far side.
Good call by Dragon, trying to activate his strong fullback in the open field.
It was. He had Schreiner isolated on one of the linebackers, and Schreiner had him beat, made the catch. Man made a good defensive play, though, if he holds him short here. And we'll wait for the big stretch. He's short.
Roselle will take over.
Not by much, though.
2:52 in the first half. See if Roselle plays wide open football right now and goes into the locker room with a lead. There's the score, 8-6. Roselle Park, Thanksgiving Day football. Jeff, I hope you enjoy the turkey.
That's a loaded question, which I won't say, as you see Coach Jeff Hill on the sideline. Big defensive play for Roselle, because Roselle Park was able to move the ball offensively and came away with it with no points.
2:35 first half. Johnny Cummins drops back into the shotgun. Cummins, inside pitch to Darrell Smith. 25-30. And Darrell Smith knocked down, picks up about 6 on the play. Exciting play on the part of the Rams.
A good call that time, as he went to a little something different, showing a little offensive flair out of the shotgun. The handoff to the wingback.
And I talked to Lou Grasso yesterday. He said they will run out of the shotgun formation with a guy like Cummins who can throw the ball. Let's watch it again.
So just a little shovel toss out in front of him over to Darrell Smith as he tried to turn the corner. Good pursuit, though, by Roselle Park. Held it to a short gain.
Second down 6, minute 52, first half. Cummins again drops back in the shotgun. Directing traffic. Cummins rolling to his left side. Rushes on, throws to Derek Walker. Incomplete. Fine defensive play by Mark Rusin, who hit him at the exact time he was supposed to.
He did. The ball hung up in the air a little bit too long. Rusin was able to get over there and knock Walker as the ball came into his hands. There's Big Mark. He's a 5'6", 150-pound junior. He's already got an interception this year. Out of the shotgun, he'll roll out and then unload one to Derek Walker. And Rusin, there's the timing. That's the most important thing if you're a secondary man, the timing. If you can get there just as the ball's getting there, you can make the good play and knock it down.
Panther cheerleaders on the side, 1:34 clock stop. 3rd down and 6 for Roselle. Twins to the left side. Cummins has time, looks across the middle. Walker's out there, and it's caught. Second man out there caught the football, Timmy Cook. And now Roselle screaming for a timeout with 1:23 to go in the first half. Exciting play, and Cummins, he threw that football 45 yards in the air.
He did. That was the best pass he's thrown all afternoon. That was a beautiful spiral over the middle, off the hands of Derek Walker, into the hands of Tim Cook. We'll look at it again. Shades of Jerry Butler against the Jets. Buffalo and the Jets. The ball tipped from Walker right to Timmy Cook. Good reaction by the Roselle Park defense to realize that somebody else, instead of the intended receiver, was going to get the ball and able to make the tackle. But they're in business now down at the Panther 28-yard line.
This is what we touched upon a couple of seconds ago, the fact that they go into the halftime with a lead. It's a totally different ball game.
It is. That's what happened down there in that last series. That's where the penalty really hurt badly for Roselle Park, because they had established their running game and they were able to move. The penalty forced them, though, into a passing game, and they weren't able to hit on 2 third and a 4th down play, and then got a 3rd chance because of the penalty, and still came up a half a yard short of that 1st down. And now the Rams take the ball and move into scoring position at the 28.
Lou Grasso back to his side. 8-6. Roselle Park leads Roselle. Bruce Beck and Jeff Schneider bringing you all the play-by-play for TV3 Sports. It's a 1st and 10 for Roselle at the 28-yard line of Park. Derek Walker split to the left side, rest of the ball club tight. Johnny Cummings looks, throws, incomplete, nobody there, and a flag is down on the play.
Well, he had good protection going in there, but he might have had good protection because one of his linemen was holding. Again, we don't like to speculate on these penalties, but that is in the position, and that is what, again, the call is.
So offensive holding penalties have really hurt both teams this afternoon. Derek Walker was the only receiver out to that side, and Cummins, I think, just tried to get rid of it.
Yeah, it looked like he was just unloading the ball and trying to get rid of it so he didn't have to eat it, because he had good protection and it was starting to break down, and it was really good coverage in the secondary. He tried to throw it back across the field, and it just went short.
A big 15 marked off against the Rams, and the ball comes back to the 42.
What a difference between having the ball at the 42 and the 28-yard line.
Minute 17 now left in the first half. Exciting halftime show coming up. And later this afternoon, the second half of the doubleheader between Bloomfield and Clifton. Derek Walker split left. Cummins drops back in the shotgun. Cummins has protection, throws to Darrell Smith, and he goes down at the 31-yard line. Pickup of 13 on the play. It'll be second down and 12.
Roselle quickly rushing in to call timeout. Well, that time they made a good play. The linebackers for Roselle Park are dropping back deep, helping out on the wide receivers. So what they did is they let the first wave of defenders come in on the play, rush Cummins, and he just dumped it off to his back coming out of the backfield, Darrell Smith, and Smith had a lot of open room there. He almost got back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe 4 yards short, maybe 3 yards short. But now they're in good shape, and look at that overflow crowd, a spectacular crowd here at Shaw Field this afternoon.
Absolutely. The bad weather has not been here today. It's not exactly what you'd call a sunny, gorgeous afternoon for Rays.
Not sunny in the 60s, that's for sure.
No, it's not, but at least it's not raining, and the crowd is really here. A good look at it. Packed around Shaw Field for a great rivalry that dates back to 1915, and it's really close as far as wins and losses for both teams. Just 4 victories separating the two teams. 29 wins for Roselle Park, 25 for Roselle, 7 ties.
Roselle Park has won the last 2 games in a row, and back in 1975 they played to a scoreless duel.
.106 first half. Cummins drops back in the shotgun, second down and 12 from the 31-yard line. Cummins in trouble, and he goes down. Good play by John Papchak, who came from his nose guard position to put a big loss on the Rams.
Now they got to go to the hurry-up offense, and they're way back there. Third and, long yardage.
Third and 27. Another look at that last play. He really got buried. Back to live action. Cummings rolling to his right side, throwing long for Walker, deflected and knocked down.
Oh, great try by McGinnis, as he looked like he might have come up with the ball, but he was out of bounds.
Joe McGinnis, who has 3 interceptions on the year, made an outstanding defensive play, but flags are down again. And ineligible receiver downfield, the call on Roselle.
That's what happens when your quarterback starts rolling out and running like that. You don't know whether he is going to stay behind the line of scrimmage and pass the ball, or whether you should go out in front of him and try and help out with the blocking. And one of his linemen got out in front, past the line of scrimmage. He was down the field, hence the ineligible receiver downfield call. And if my memory serves me correct, that is a penalty and a loss of down, isn't it? Well, they're refusing it, so I guess not.
Fourth down coming up. And there's only 28 seconds to go in the first half. Roselle has the ball on the Roselle Park 44. Exciting first half. And Roselle has shown they can move the football. Should be a good final 24 minutes. Cummins in the shotgun. Drops back to pass. Throwing long for Derek Walker. Incomplete, and again, a flag is down.
Now there's 2 flags down, but we'll have to see what the one at the line of scrimmage is.
One behind the line, one all the way down by the pass.
The one at the line of scrimmage is holding against Roselle. So now we'll have to decipher what the one in the backfield is. Probably a pass interference call.
Pass interference against defense, offsetting penalties. And we have seen a lot of penalties here in the first half.
Really, that flag, we haven't seen as many penalties this whole season as we have seen so far in this first half. Offsetting penalties, so they'll do it again.
Fourth down, and the clock moves. It's 22 seconds to go. Still fourth and about 27. Roselle has to get down to the 18-yard line to get a first down. And Cummins will try one more time. Sends Walker, the speed burner, to the right side. Ronnie Brown to the left. Timmy Cook to the left. And Darrell Smith to the left. And he's in trouble. Cummins rolls to his left side, being pursued, and throws out there. It's intercepted by Bobby Schreiner. Schreiner across the 50 and goes down to 49. Clock shows 7 seconds, and that's where the clock will stop.
Well, he tried to go to Tim Cook over the middle, and he was being on the heavy rush. He was just trying to unload the ball, and he put a little bit too much on it. It went over the head of Cook into the hands of Bobby Schreiner, and if Schreiner had cut up the left sideline instead of cutting back right, there was a lot of open room and maybe only one person to beat, but he cut back to the right side, met a host of tacklers, and he was stopped at just over midfield. So with 7 seconds to go, Roselle Park will have a shot at getting on that board. You see they lead it 8-6, 7 seconds to go in the half.
For Schreiner, his third interception of the year. His other two were returned 93 yards and 45 yards. Does it all.
Man motors when he gets that ball.
So Roselle Park not content to go into that locker room with a 2-point lead. They want much more. And they only have 7 seconds to do it.
It's going to have to be the home run pass right here.
Luke Grasso pacing the far side for Roselle. He's seen some good things here in the first half. He's seen too many penalties, though.
And neither coach can be happy with the amount of penalties that have been called on both teams so far.
Jeff Hill, 22-21-1, his career record, now in his 5th season here at Roselle Park. His first 2 years, 1-7-1 and 1-8, but in the last 3, 7-2 and 77, 5-4 and 78, and 8-0 so far in 79.
Really turned this program around.
19-6 in the last 3 years. Bobby Schreiner, 3rd interception of the season, now back in there on offense. See what Dragon does with it. Roy has 7 seconds to play with. Dragon rolling to the left side. Looks across the middle, throws, intercepted by Manny Slaughter. And Manny returns it to the 42. And that will be it for the first half. And a good first half from Shaw Field. The score, Roselle Park 8, Roselle 6. We'll be back with the halftime show in just a moment.
Do you ever think about getting old? Well, you are, whether you think about it or not. And that makes you part of the fastest growing minority in this country. Because old age is a minority. If you want to be able to use all your experience and knowledge later on, you ought to start planning today. If you want to go on being a productive, vital part of society when you get older, you should get involved. Now, think about it. What will you want? What will you need? But you'd better do it soon, because one day you will be old. Maybe sooner than you think. So get off your rocker while there is still time, or be prepared to sit back and rock your life away.
Find out the facts and myths about aging. Send for free booklet. Write Box 28611, Washington, D.C. A public service message from this station, the Advertising Council, and the National Council on the Aging.
The Verona, Fairfield, North Cornwall, Little Falls, Cranford Health Departments have set up a pneumococcal vaccine program. This is a vaccine against pneumonia. It's a 3-year inoculation and highly recommended for people over the age of 50 and also for children from the age of 2 and older that have some kind of chronic illness such as splenectomies, sickle cell anemia, Cooley's anemia, things of that nature. We suggest very strongly that you come and take advantage of this vaccine at the locations which will be shown on your screen in a few minutes. If there are any questions, call 239-5370. It's the Verona Health Department, so we might give you some additional information you might want to know. Thank you very much.
Back here at Shaw Field, we're at halftime. Roselle Park leading Roselle by a score of 8-6. The Roselle Ram marching band on the field right now under the directorship of Mr. Jerry Giusinelli. The color guard instructor is Barbara Bailey, the faculty manager Andrew Roche, and the drum major is Michael Teague. "60-second meeting between these two clubs, a great Thanksgiving Day rivalry. Look at the Roselle High School marching band on the far side of the field. Spectacular show they're putting on, complete with flaming batons over there, some of the twirlers. Halftime here at Shaw Field, a beautiful day. The sun is starting to peek through the clouds now, drenching this field. A great crowd, an overflow crowd, and it's 8-6 in favor of the Panthers, leading their crosstown rivals, the Rams. This rivalry, as we have stated before, dates back to 1915, and the first time the two teams met, Roselle won it by a score of 81-0. Since then, Roselle Park has won 29 times, Roselle overall 25 wins. 7 games have ended in ties. Roselle, as you, there's a familiar face. Roselle Park has been shut out 18 times by this Ram team over the years, while Roselle has been shut out 21 times by the Panthers. Panthers has won 3 out of the last 5. They've won the last 2 in a row. Back in 1978, last year, Roselle Park was a 22-16 winner over the Rams. And there is the Roselle High School marching band completing their halftime festivities. And we're at halftime here at Shaw Field. Our score, Roselle Park 8, Roselle 6. Jeff Schneider along with Bruce Beck will be back with the second half kickoff right after this message.
Hello, I'm George Kennedy. And to me, family and togetherness are a way of life. Unfortunately, that's not the case with all families. That's why I want to tell you about the Child Support Enforcement Agency. They can help the family that's been deserted by tracking down the missing parent and taking legal action to get support for the family. Their services are available to everyone. You don't have to be on welfare to get their support. So if you know of a family that can't make ends meet because one of the parents has deserted them, please pass this word along. They can get help by calling their local welfare office or by writing to HEW Child Support, Baltimore, Maryland 21235. That's HEW Child Support, Baltimore, Maryland 21235.
You're looking at the Roselle Park High School Marching Band, and as an extra special treat, before we kick off this second half, we'll get a look at the Panther Marching Band as they'll perform here at Shaw Field. An overflow crowd here at Shaw. People standing along all the sidelines behind the end zones. Just a really good crowd there to get a good look at it. They're exuberant. Their team leads it by 2 points at halftime, 8-6. The Roselle Park High School Marching Band is under the directorship of Mr. James Patterson. The drum majorette is Robin Niles. Flag twirling captain Janice Reeds. The color guard captains are Donna D. Gesso and Andrea Bugle. The swing flag captain is Rose Casper. The flag twirler and color guard director is Linda Green. Twirlers captain Maureen Harms. Featured twirler is Maria Perez, and the baton twirling advisor is Debbie Rubilla. And the first selection that the band will play as they make their way out onto the field will be the Carnation Score from Boris Goodenough. The Panther Marching Band. Beautiful choreography and formations by this Roselle Park marching band. Next selection they'll do is the parade of the wooden soldiers. Changing the beat to a little disco, Manhattan Skyline from the movie Saturday Night Fever. And this time, Bruce and I will definitely be back with the start of the second half right after this message. Our score at halftime is Roselle Park 8, Roselle 6.
All the natural joys of pregnancy should be yours. The planning, the wonder, even choosing your baby's name. But be sure to remember March of Dimes' advice. See a doctor as soon as possible and do what he says. Exercise, eat wisely, and get plenty of rest. You can also do your unborn another big favor. Stop smoking. The March of Dimes thinks your baby deserves the best possible start in life.
Hello, I'm Dorothy Beck. I'd like to invite you to view our new show, At Home with Dorothy Beck, on Suburban Cablevision TV 3, Mondays at 4, Tuesday at 7 p.m., and Thursday at 2 p.m. I think you'll find it a most enjoyable and interesting show. Will you join us, please?
Roselle Park High School, there's our halftime score. I hope you enjoyed the halftime show. Special halftime show here on Thanksgiving Day with both bands being allowed to play the 8 minutes. And there's a look at the crowd, and it is a dandy of a crowd on hand here at Shaw Field. They are packed all around. and they estimated between 4,000 and 6,000 this afternoon. I would say definitely in that range, Jeff.
Yeah, it's a really nice size overflow crowd.
To recap the scoring in the first half, 2-0 was the opening score as Roselle Park at the 7:39 mark of the first quarter picked up a safety as Bobby Schreiner tackled one of the Roselle players in the end zone, and it was 2-0 Roselle Park. Then at 3:44 of the first quarter, Roselle Park went on top 8-0. Bobby Schreiner, a 4-yard run, capping a 43-yard drive. Pass for 2-point conversion was no good. And then in the second quarter, Roselle came back at the 7:02 mark on a 35-yard touchdown pass from John Cummins to Ron Brown, and that was the scoring in half number 1. And it was a good first half, a lot of excitement, a lot of interceptions, many penalties, something that we hope will be cut down on a little bit here in the second half. But it was good football, and these two teams, when they get together, nothing but excitement.
Many penalties, thwarting a lot of good offensive drives for both teams. Unofficially, first half for Roselle Park, Bobby Schreiner, their leading ground gainer, 73 yards, bringing him over 1,000 for the season on 12 carries and the 1 touchdown. So he has been the leading ground gainer so far on the year for Roselle Park, and so far this afternoon for Roselle Park.
So set to go for our second half, 2 12-minute quarters still to go this afternoon. There's Bob Schreiner, who has been involved in almost everything this afternoon. He has an interception. He has tackled a man in the end zone for a safety. He scored a touchdown and 73 yards on the ground. Back deep for Roselle Park, Roy Dragon and Mike Schreiner. And teeing things off, Willie Bolger for Roselle High School. Bolger teeing things up. And then we will be off. Bruce Beck and Jeff Schneider for TV3 Sports, bringing you all the action of this afternoon's game. Capping a exciting season of high school football. We'll keep you posted if there are any other state playoff games that will be covered. If not, these Thanksgiving Day contests will be our final telecast for the 79 football season, and we've really enjoyed it. Willie Bolger of Roselle hits it, and we're off for the second half. Loose ball picked up by Purcell, and he gets back to the 25-yard line, and that's about it. So Roselle Park will take it at the 25, 1st and 10. The interior line once again, Les Swick and Joe Belford the tackles, Chris Vida, Mike Chernick the guards, Mike Cohn is the center, tight end Kevin Purcell, split end Terry Murphy. Quarterback is Roy Dragon, fullback Bobby Schreiner, the halfbacks Mark Rusin and Mike Schreiner. Dragon calling signals, straight up the middle. Quarterback sneak, and Dragon gets 7 yards on the play.
Dragon going straight up the middle against this Roselle defense that has held together very well throughout this afternoon. Ralph Alderman playing a whale of a game at left end, and Andre Hunt at the other side. Willie Bolger, Johnny Davis, and John Tyletke round out the interior line. Billy McCoy, Keith Starks are the linebackers. Berrigan, Vernon Harvard, Manny Slaughter, and Chris Satterfield, the backfield.
So 2nd down and 3. Ball just over the 30-yard line. Bobby Schreiner sweeping the left side, 35, 40. Schreiner across the 45 for a 1st down.
Well, we have seen so far this afternoon that when Roselle Park runs left, they get good yardage. That time they did it again as Schreiner went off left tackle, was able to cut back over the middle and pick up a big play on it, getting him the 1st down. We'll look again. Good blocking there. Mike Schreiner, the lead running back, making a great block, springing his brother Bob.
At the 47, 1st and 10 for Roselle Park. In motion to the left is Rusin. Bobby Schreiner gets the call, gets up to the 50 before John Tyletke and company make the tackle.
Big John Tyletke, we talked about him in the open. There's number 77, John Maloney. He's a senior in on this game. It's interesting for all these seniors, they're playing out their high school careers. Some of them will become big stars in college. Some of them will play college ball, and others, this is the it as far as football, organized football will go for them.
Phil Woods comes to the left side. Rest of the ball club fairly tight. 2nd down and 7. In motion, John Papchek. Mike Schreiner gets the call. Good movement off the right side before Billy McCoy makes the tackle. Up near another Roselle Park first down. Just short. It'll be 3rd down and about a yard.
Left guard Chris Vida, number 65, coming over from his left guard position to the right side, throwing the block to spring Mike Schreiner on that play. We are seeing that more and more. Guards going off to their other side now and springing holes for these running backs.
Just a yard to go for that first down, 3rd down situation. Bobby Schreiner has it, bounces off a man at the 35 and powers his way to the 30.
Great
second effort.
Great run by Schreiner, right up the middle. Put his head down, spun away from one blocker and able to go cutting back up the middle to almost the 30-yard line, and he's got to be now very close to that 100-yard mark for the game. Look at Schreiner again, bouncing off tackles, spinning around and getting a good head of steam down.
A little earlier, you saw the cheerleaders for Roselle Park who cooked an excellent meal yesterday afternoon. I happened to be a part of it over here getting some numbers and statistics ready for today's game, and cheerleaders cooked up a lasagna lunch with meatballs and Italian bread, and it was really excellent.
Figures the 1 week I don't go with you to the school, and look what you get out of it.
And I'll tell you, the gentleman gave the cheerleaders all corsages, so it was a nice little trade-off. The boys echoing their thankfulness really for a job well done during the season. Bobby Schreiner sweeps to the right and gets his way down near the 25-yard line where he is stopped. Roselle Park looks awfully good on the ground on this drive. 8:44 to go, 3rd quarter. Roselle Park 8, Roselle 6. Roselle Park trying to cap an undefeated season. And both these clubs play Group 1.
Panthers taking it right to the Rams on this drive. That time Mike Schreiner making a good lead block for brother Bob off the right side of the line, and that time they got good yardage on the right side.
Full house backfield behind Dragon. Mike Schreiner gets the call. He is stacked up behind the line, but manages to pull forward for a couple of yards. Willie Bolger was in there to make the tackle. And it brings up a 3rd down and about 3.
Interesting enough, Bruce, on that offensive line for Roselle Park, with the exception of Mike Turnick, they are all seniors, all playing in their final game for Roselle Park this afternoon.
Whereas there are only 10 players on that Roselle roster that are seniors, so they have a couple of good years ahead of them. Bobby Schreiner gets up near the 1st down marker at the 20-yard line. Let's see how they mark it. It looks like he may have enough, but they'll bring the chains on. Official time taken by our referee, John Stamler. Let's watch Bob Schreiner on the isolated replay.
Bobby Schreiner showing good strength, just really plowed into that defender for Roselle and moved him backwards a couple of yards to get close to the 1st down, and he has it by about the nose of the football.
1st and 10 for Roselle Park at the 21-yard line, and the march continues. They've been eating up the clock as well. 7:31 to go in the 3rd quarter, and Roselle Park clinging to that 8-6 lead. Terry Murphy wide left, rest of that ball club fairly tight. Bob Schreiner gets the call to the left side, and he is tripped up near the line of scrimmage. Good play by Keith Starks, who had 71 solo tackles coming into today's game. Starks, a 6'1", 188-pound senior who will be sorely missed next year by Lou Grasso.
He sure will. He's really good. We haven't had a chance to talk much about Starks. He's been contained fairly well so far in this game, but 71 solo tackles on the season. That means he is in and around that football. He reads the plays very well.
2nd down, 8. Bob Schreiner, Bolger has him and makes the tackle. And Willie did that one all on his own.
Willie Bolger, big 6'2", 225 senior. And
he
sure is. He's built well. That top part of him is really, that's not all shoulder pads up there.
6'0", 225. You go about 6'3", don't you?
6'3", 6'4".
And what do you weigh, 185?
No, I got over the 200
Are you
mark.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Wide to the left side, Terry Murphy. 3rd down and 9 for Roselle Park. Dragging back to throw. Looks across the middle. Finds Bobby Schreiner inside the 10. Loose football.
Let's see if they whistle it dead or if they'll call it a fumble. If it's a fumble, Roselle has it.
It appears Roselle has it, but now they say Roselle Park maintains possession. And the pass across the middle, Dragon hitting his fullback Bob Schreiner, and it's 1st down and goal for Roselle Park at the 4.
Well, unofficially, one of the spotters up here in the press box tells me that Terry Murphy, the split end, might have fallen on that football. So obviously it was not dead, and it was a fumble, and Murphy was able to wrestle a ball from the Roselle defender and get possession.
Here we go at the 4-yard line, Roselle Park threatening. 5:36 3rd quarter. Bobby Schreiner cuts between 2 men short of the goal line. Again, Keith Starks over there to make the stop with some help from Bill McCoy and Manny Slaughter coming up from the safety position.
You don't think they want Schreiner to get touchdown number 20 on the season? As once they get inside this territory, that is Bob Schreiner territory.
Last year, Schreiner had 8 touchdowns and 860 yards. This year, over 1,000 yards and 19 touchdowns. 2nd down and 2 yards to go for a Roselle Park touchdown. Bobby Schreiner gets the call again, and he's in trouble. Stacked up. And that Roselle defense really rising to the occasion right now.
Keith Starks leading the charge on defense for Roselle, along with number 83, Timmy Cook, and stopping Schreiner at the line of scrimmage and moving him backwards. So it brings up a big 3rd down play, 3rd and goal, just inside the 5-yard line.
Earlier in the football game, Roselle Park was unable, Jeff, to capitalize on a drive deep in Roselle territory. And once again, here they're forced with a situation where they really have to try to convert. 4:15 3rd quarter. 3rd down, 4 yards to go for a Roselle Park touchdown. Schreiner again gets the call off the left side and in. Touchdown number 20 of the season for Bobby Schreiner. And Roselle Park goes out in front by a score of 14-6.
Well, Bruce, that is exactly what you were saying. They have to get the points once they get deep down into the territory, and that time Bobby Schreiner took a couple of Roselle defenders into the end zone with him, putting his head down and just barreling his way the 4 yards for the touchdown. There he is, Bobby Schreiner, his 20th touchdown. Let's look at it again and watch him just move that defender backwards. That was Timmy Cook, who he moved backwards into the end zone and getting in for the touchdown. And this is a big conversion right here. And look at this formation.
They send everybody over to the left, and Schreiner, the lone man, behind the center. Now there's confusion, and a flag goes down, and a 5-yard delay of game penalty will be marked off against Roselle Park.
Shades of Belleville against Union on that final formation that Belleville threw out.
You know, the interesting thing that I found out that what actually Belleville was trying to do in that game, Jeff, was the center becomes an eligible receiver in that situation, and hopefully you can catch the defense sleeping a little bit with everybody else on the left. Forget about the center. He can go out for a pass and sometimes maybe catch a pass and go for a touchdown.
But what the quarterback did is he threw it back to the opposite side of the field where everybody else was lined up.
Let's not second guess, but that was in essence what they were trying to do. Now Schreiner will try the regular conversion. The kick is up, and it is no good. Off to the left side. He had plenty of height and distance, but off to the side.
I'll tell you something, Bruce. This has been the year of the missed conversion. You know, in the pros that there have been over 100 extra points so far missed in the pros. Now, this is pros.
I don't believe it.
No, this is true, because I was listening last week, and I believe on NFL Today, Brent Musburger mentioned the fact that 105 extra points have been missed in the NFL this year. College has been missing them, and here in high school level, we have seen a lot of extra points and 2-point conversion attempts failed, and it was a big miss because it's 14-6, and it's only an 8-point lead, and 1 touchdown and a 2-point conversion can tie it up. Here's a look at the cheerleaders for Roselle Park, and that's not them. Those are the 2 deep men for Roselle.
Back there, deep for Roselle. Ronnie Brown, number 25. Also back there, Darrell Smith. And Bob Schreiner will kick off. 14-6 to score. Still anybody's football game. Clock shows 4:04 in quarter number 3. On the sideline for Roselle Park, number 75, Joe Belford, who was instrumental in that last touchdown drive. Schreiner hits this one high. And the ball will be taken by Ronnie Brown, 15-yard line, 30. Brown breaks it across the 40 and up to the 45. He's been averaging 40 yards a kickoff return, and he showed you why in that last play.
Good speed following the wedge right up the middle. In fact, he followed it almost a little bit too much to the end as he got run into by one of his blockers blocking for him. Look at it again. Brown takes the ball, let's call it about the 10-yard line, and goes straight up the middle.
Fast.
Really fast. You can see him kind of run into the wedge there.
45-yard line, 1st and 10. There's Ron Brown. John Cummins leads out the Rams. Cummins, look across the middle. Great reception by Timmy Cook for a first down at the Roselle Park 40. Second time this afternoon, Cook has made a one-handed grab.
Well, we have down on our notes in front of us under Timmy Cook, good hands, catches anything, and you're right on the nose with that one. He has made some great catches. Again, a one-handed grab over the middle. That is the second time they've used that play, and it's been a success for the Rams offense so far in this game.
At the Roselle Park 40, 1st and 10 for the Rams. Pitch goes to Darrell Smith, has good blocking in front of him, gets to the 35, and finally pushed out of bounds by Roy Dragon at the 31.
Andre Hunt, the left guard, and a couple of other offensive linemen leading the way that time down the sideline for Roselle. Another good gain, and Roselle is answering right back as they are putting on a good offensive march and getting into scoring position themselves.
The kickoff return seems to have fired up the Rams. Look at it one more time.
Look at it again. There goes Darrell Smith getting good blocking. Whole left side of the line was out there for him.
3:09, 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 2 for the Rams. They trail 14-6. Inside handoff, Billy McCoy to the 20, to the 15, and McCoy down inside the 15-yard line. Tremendous explosion up the middle, and that interior line really starting to move out for Roselle.
Mark Rusin saving the touchdown for Roselle Park, but not before McCoy gets the ball deep in the territory. Right up the middle he went. There's Rusin making the tackle. A great run for Billy McCoy, number 34, 377 yards on the season.
At the 13-yard line of Roselle Park, 1st and 10 for the Rams. I formation behind John Cummins. He options to the right side, pitches back to Darrell Smith, and he is nailed by Bobby Schreiner at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Schreiner came up from his left linebacker position to make the fine hit.
Well, Schreiner made a really good play because on the rollout that time, the end, as you'll watch it, the end turns the play in. As Cummins really had no place to go, he had to pitch it back to Smith, and Schreiner cutting off the angle down the sidelines and making the tackle. Very little gain on the play.
Wide to the left side, Derek Walker. To the right, Ron Brown. Smith and McCoy right behind Cummins. Cummins goes to the air, throws behind Derek Walker, and it brings up a 3rd and 8 at the 12-yard line.
Well, Walker was doing just a quick look-in going across the middle, and the pass from Cummins, I don't know whether he thought that Walker was going to cut back the other way or whether he just threw it behind him. The pass went incomplete, bringing up a 3rd down play. They're in scoring position here. They have to take advantage. Let's see what the Rams could do.
Derek Walker to the left side. And moving off to the right, Ron Brown. Big 3rd and 8 for the Rams. Brown in motion. Pitch back, and what a play. Bob Mercado read that play beautifully and came up to make the tackle.
We said at the outset the linebackers were the key to this Roselle Park defense. There is a good look. Big Bob Mercado, 5'6", 175-pound senior. He is all over the running back.
Johnny Davis.
Johnny Davis not really able to get any head of steam up, and it's a big 4th down play.
4th down at the 17-yard line. 4th and 15 for a first down. Cummins drops back to pass. Wide open to the left side. Derek Walker, touchdown. 14-12. And Walker was all by himself. Cummins picked him up.
They blitz, Roselle Park did, sending the linebackers in on the play to get extra pressure on the quarterback, Cummins. You can see them coming in, and Walker, he could have roasted a turkey. That's how much time he had. He was all alone in the end zone for the touchdown, and now with a 2-point conversion, Roselle can tie things up.
Big 2-point conversion. I formation behind Cummins. The only man wide, Derek Walker on the left. Cummins drops back, gets away from one man. Cummins still looking, still running, and it's knocked down.
I'll tell you, Cummins did a great job in getting away from 2 Roselle Park men that time. And if one of his receivers had been able to cut back into that left corner, he might have had a man free to throw it to. But finally, the Panthers were able to swarm around him, and he just knocked the ball out of his hands, and it fell astray. But we have got ourselves a football game as you look at Jeff Hill, the Roselle Park coach, and he cannot be happy with the way Roselle was able to move on his defense right down the field. And we've got a football game at 14-12, Bruce.
We sure do. Roselle, beautiful drive. Started off by that kickoff return that went out to the 45, and they moved the ball 55 yards to Pater. And back deep, Roy Dragon, Mike Schreiner for Roselle Park. On 4th and 17 to come up with the conversion is just brilliant.
It is really a good play. Walker was all alone. Cummins did a good job in picking up the blitz. He had enough time to be able to release the ball, and Walker was just right there.
Difference of this game right now, not the extra points, the safety that was picked up by Roselle Park very early in the game. Young lady enjoying today's action.
Photographer, sideline photographer.
14-12 the score. Willie Bolger will tee off for Roselle. 1:53 in the 3rd quarter. Still plenty of time and plenty of excitement remaining. A classic Thanksgiving Day match between Roselle and Roselle Park. Bolger hits this one to the near side, sends Roy Dragon to the 17. Roy's across the 20 and goes down at the 26, and Roselle is fired up.
Timmy Cook getting down to make the tackle for Roselle, and like you said, these Rams are fired up right now, and this will be a big defensive series for Roselle. Let's see what they can do to contain the Roselle Park offense. Roselle Park took the opening kickoff of this second half and marched down the field to get in for the touchdown. Now it's up to the Ram defense to get tough.
They move from their 27, and they send Terry Murphy wide to the left side, and the wing position is John Papchek. Bob Schreiner, flags go down, goes off left tackle, gets 3 or 4. Ralph Alderman came up to make the tackle, but flags are down.
Somebody might have jumped the gun. Well, let's see.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, the call against Roselle.
Looks like Roselle has 12 men on the field. That would be a good way to stop them. Put an extra man on the field, and that's exactly what it was. As for Roselle, number 88. Venice Harvard comes trotting off the field. They had 1 too many, 12 men on the field. Wasn't there an Orange Bowl game a few years back? I think it was Kansas had 12 men on the field in a goal line stand.
So it's a first down for Roselle Park now at the 41.
Big difference.
Yes, it is. Wide to the left side, Phil Woods. Mike Schreiner in motion. Bobby Schreiner gets the call, follows the lead block, crosses the 45, gets near the 50. Pickup of 8 yards on the play. Great block by Mike Schreiner and the right side of that Roselle Park line.
I was going to say, did you see Bobby Schreiner, 20 touchdowns this year, 2 touchdowns in this football game. Official timeout right now with 56 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Mike Schreiner threw a tremendous block. He knocked out 2 Roselle defenders on the play, opening things up for Bobby Schreiner.
Our director has a fetish for photographers today.
Really, portrait's a specialty.
Injured player out there for Roselle Park is Mike Cohn. And let's take a look at that last play, the sweep to the right side.
Let's see if we can see the block by Mike Schreiner knocking out. There you see the 2 defenders going back. Mike Schreiner blocking on Ralph Alderman was one of the players that he knocked out of the play. But a really good block by Mike Schreiner, and a nice hand now from Mike Cohn as he's being helped off the field. Shaken up on the play, and you hate to lose your center.
He'll probably be back. He's an outstanding one, a 6'1", 190-pound senior. And it's second down and about 2. Call it a short 2 for Roselle Park, and the ball's at the 50-yard line. Ray Parento in the ball game for Coach Jeff Hill at center. Phil Woods goes wide right. Probably won't matter. They'll go up the middle. No, they won't. Drag it back to pass, and he is smothered. And the rush came again from Ralph Alderman.
I'll tell you, this Alderman is playing a well of a game on defense for Roselle. Ralph Alderman, 6'2", 205 pound. He's only a junior. Be back next year.
I spoke to him in the preseason special, a real gentleman. And he was gung-ho about this football team. And although they are only 3-5 coming into today, a big improvement after last year's only one win.
A lot of promise and a lot of men coming back next year.
3rd and 8 for Roselle Park. Dragging, rolling, looks, finds Bobby Schreiner for a first down. Schreiner at the 40. Loose football, and Roselle recovers. And they have good field position at their own 33.
Recovering the football on the play, guess who? Number 78. Ralph Alderman, who came all the way down the field from his left end position on defense. He came down the field to get Schreiner, and I'll tell you, Schreiner has been open on that pass play the entire football game.
Let's watch the isolated look at Bobby Schreiner running this pass pattern. Schreiner coming out from his backfield position. Here he is.
Okay, now nobody is picking up. The linebacker is the one who's supposed to be picking him up. He has been open on that left side the entire game. There's the hit, the fumble, and there's Big Ralph under the pile to get it.
And that is it for our 3rd quarter at Shaw Field in Roselle Park. The score, Roselle Park 14, Roselle 12. Back with the final 12 minutes in just a moment on TV3.
Hi, my name is Mike Festa, and I'm privileged to have a program called To Your Health, where there's a great deal of information given out in health-related problems, medical problems, and other health facilities. I'd like very much for you to watch, and if there are any questions or any programs you'd like me to run, please write or call us here at the studio. Thank you.
Bruce Beck and Jeff Schneider back at Shaw Field, and on the first play from scrimmage, Roselle's quarterback John Cummings went back to pass. Let's take a look at it on the replay, Jeff.
This is what's known as getting rid of the ball when you're in trouble.
And almost an interception.
Throwing it away, Schreiner diving, trying to make the interception, but he just threw it away.
That's how he got his interception in the first half, on a play like that.
That's right.
2nd down and 10 for Roselle in their own 33, coming up with a fumble after Bobby Schreiner had picked up a first down. Final 12 minutes of the game. Roselle, swing pass complete to Cook to the left side, across the 50 and down into Roselle Park territory. And Timmy Cook is having some afternoon.
And John Cummins did a great job in reading the defense that time as Mike Schreiner was coming in on a blitz from his right linebacker position, and Timmy Cook went right to the spot vacated by Schreiner, and he was wide open, getting hit with the pass and moving it into Roselle Park territory.
A victory today could really touch off the season in a nice way for Roselle High School. Roselle Park wants that unbeaten season, and everything on the line this afternoon. At the 47 of Roselle Park, first down for the Rams, and straight up the middle, Billy McCoy gets 5. Bob Schreiner made the stop, but McCoy following the blocking of Phil Schoenfeld in his center.
Cummins with good fakes and good passing on the play. When you pass the ball, we have said time and time again, it opens up that defense a little bit because they can't just play in for the run. They have to be wary of the pass. That is what Cummins has got this Panther defense doing now, and it's opening up the run.
Wide to the right side, Derek Walker. Ronnie Brown comes off to the left. 2nd down, 5 yards to go for the Rams. Inside handoff to Darryl Smith. Smith gets about 3 on the play. Tackle made by Les Swick. It is 3rd down, and call it 2 yards to go. And the ball rests inside the 39 of Roselle Park. Clock becoming important, 10:44 in the game, and Roselle Park leading by a score of 14-12.
Coach Grasso on the sideline, and he has got to be happy with the way this offensive team has been able to move against this tough Panther defense.
Derek Walker comes all the way to the left side. Now an I formation behind John Cummins. Handoff. And a 1st down, Billy McCoy barreling his way inside the 30.
Bruno D'Amato had him around the neck, but McCoy would not be denied. He rode D'Amato a couple of extra yards and then finally shook him free and was able to pick up the yardage for the 1st down.
McCoy has really come alive in the 2nd half with some good running, and we see him again.
There's D'Amato wrestling, trying to wrestle him down. That's not the way you're supposed to tackle a ball carrier, to bring him down. You got to do it lower.
10 minutes left in the game at the 30-yard line. The Rams have a 1st down. Cummins back to pass. Rolling, looking, throwing, and it's caught and then dropped. Caught and dropped by Derek Walker. Almost a sensational grab. Down at the 10-yard line, Walker shaking up on the play.
And Cummins is doing a great job in getting rid of that ball in the face of a fierce pass rush that time. As to look at this, once again, this overflow crowd here at Shaw Field. But he fired that one, and Walker almost made another spectacular catch. I'll tell you something, with receivers like Walker and Cook, Cummins throwing the ball down there, one of them is going to get their hands on that football and come close to making the reception.
Walker
might just have the wind knocked out of him because he was in a kind of an awkward position when he got hurt, when he got hit as he was going for the ball.
He took a tough fall down at the 10-yard line, and Lou Grasso and his staff out there to see how things are. 9:50 in this football game, and an excellent game it has been right from the very beginning. And the staff of Suburban Cablevision TV3 would like to wish all of our subscribers a very happy and joyous Thanksgiving. Immediately following this football game, it will be Bloomfield against Clifton in game 2 of the doubleheader. There's a good look at a friend of Jeff Schneider.
Been waiting all season for that one, huh?
Coach Jeff Hill.
Jeff Hill blocking out defensive.
And it appears that Walker's okay. Walking off the field. There's a good look at Jeff's friend. Since you were so rough on our director, Ed DePalma, a couple of weeks ago, it's only fitting.
There is a female underneath that Panther outfit.
Really?
Saw her take her head off before.
Okay. Back to action. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Rams. And the ball at the 30-yard line. In at wide receiver is Ralph Olderman, who is now wearing number 86 on offense. Back to pass is Cummins. Cummins still scrambling, looking, throwing to the end zone, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Joe McGinnis. Touchback. Roselle Park will have it on their own 20.
Well, again, they blitz. Mike Schreiner again coming in from his linebacker position, but that time the play was moving away from where Schreiner was blitzing from. So Cummins had to roll out, get free. He threw the ball up into the end zone. Timmy Cook, who was originally the intended receiver, who was behind McGinnis, moved in front of McGinnis. As we'll look again, you can see Schreiner blitzing from the right linebacker position. The rollout comes. Now Cook gets in front of McGinnis. He leaps up. Tough to see from that angle, but Cook leaped up. The ball went over his head, and McGinnis was able to make the interception in the end zone.
9:37 to go. The Panthers have it at their own 20. Bobby Schreiner to the left side has a first down at the 31. And that's the play they've been running so well this afternoon. Off the left guard and tackle, Chris Fita, Les Swick, and the center Mike Cohn, who is out of the game right now with Ray Parento playing the center position.
Well, this is what Roselle Park now has to do. Look at some of the younger fans here enjoying action. Everybody's a camera ham. They all love to be in front of that camera.
Roselle Park wants to eat up the clock and move down the field. Bob Schreiner off left side again and gets about 3.
This is the time of the game, like you said, they want to eat up as much of the clock as possible and move down the field as we go under 9 minutes now in the game. 14-12, Roselle Park in the lead. But you know, this is when the defense is going to be stacked up a little bit, looking for the run, and would be a good time for maybe a surprise and put the ball in the air and see what can happen there.
We saw the last 2nd down and 2 situation. The last series, he wasn't afraid to put the ball in the air. Dragon sends Murphy to the left side. Inside handoff to Mike Schreiner, and he has a first down at the 45. Ball control football, the best way to do it, give it to a Schreiner and let him run.
It's like a convention back there of Shriners. You can just give it to either one, and you know that they're going to get good yardage. Mike that time going off the right side. Found good yardage, cutting back across over the middle. Look again, there goes Schreiner back across the middle. Had good yardage before he was finally wrestled down by Manny Slaughter.
He was hit hard, too. Clock stopped now at 8:29. Mike Schreiner being helped from the field. He's okay. A lot of hard hitting today.
Oh yeah, this has been a physical game. Both teams really going at each other. That's what you get when you got a rivalry of this intensity. You really get the hard-hitting physical play. Coach Jeff Hill, his team up by 2 points, trying to see his offense eat up a little bit more of this clock and get into maybe scoring position.
They're having to work for this football game. The closest they've come all season was Immaculata 21-6, and last week Hillsborough 22-6. Otherwise, it's been real routes. Park finds himself in a football game today as Bobby Schreiner goes off tackle and gets another 6 yards. And he has looked impressive all afternoon. Now, when he carries it, he's going 5-6 a chop. They're not really stopping him at all like they were a couple of times in the first half.
Timeout being called. It looked, I think Roselle called the timeout this time, trying to regroup that defense once again as they go all huddle around their defensive coach, and Jeff Hill goes into the Roselle Park huddle to tell his offense exactly what he wants. I saw Mike Schreiner come back into the game, so he's all right.
Our cameramen have done such an outstanding job this season. There's one of them, Kip Rowan, who a little bit camera shy, and he has done a great job. Thanks, Kip, for everything.
What's
all
he
your
got
help
growing
today.
out of his forehead?
That was a microphone. Clock stopped at 7:53. Coach Hill comes off.
There's Big Jeff, another photographer.
Panthers will move it from the 40, from the midfield straight.
Lou Grasso across on the far side of the field, trying to figure out a way to stop the Panthers and get the ball back. He needs the ball because he's down by 2.
Just statistically, this game has been very close. Score the same. To the left side, Mark Rusin. He is bottled up. Good play on the right side by Tim Cook.
And Keith Starks, both of them really applying pressure on Rusin as he attempted to turn the corner. It wasn't there. Comes up a 3rd down play from midfield to look again. Cook's 83 and Starks is 45, and just really, Rusin, sorry he had the ball that time.
Cook really popped him.
There's Rusin off to the sideline now. Safer there.
3rd down and 5. In motion, Papchek. Roy Dragon rolling to his right. Dragon keeps it. Has the first down, and Dragon with an excellent gain to the 35. That's the running you were talking about earlier today.
Yeah, that's it. You really can't key on the 2 Shriners when you got a quarterback like Roy Dragon who can run with the football as effectively as he did. He got a well of a block by Chris Vida, number 65, his left guard coming out of the thing. We'll look again. You see Vida in front of him, 65, and boom, there was the block. Chris Vida, I should say, not Vida.
At the 35, 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Bobby Schreiner gets 2 or 3 yards. Stopped by Keith Starks, who seems to be always around the football. He had 71 solo tackles coming into today's game. See what the penalty is. It looks like it might be against Roselle. Grabbing the face mask, personal foul against Roselle. Tack on 15 big ones.
That's a big penalty, a very big penalty. Moves the ball way down deep into the territory of Roselle. Puts them in a position now where if they ever came up with a 4th down, they would probably definitely go for it. And in good scoring position now.
At the 19-yard line, 1st and 10. And across the way, the auxiliary police and also the camera, manned by no one.
The invisible cameraman.
I guess just shooting that end zone footage. In motion to the left, John Papchak. Mike Schreiner to the right side, and he is snowed under. Good pursuit by Willie Bolger. And a loss of 3 on the play. I'll tell you, this is where Roselle Park has their most trouble. And they have basically been a second-half team the entire season. And this afternoon, they're trying to put another one across. Even 6 minutes to go in this football game. 14-12, Roselle Park leads Roselle. Murphy to the right. Dragon, nice bootleg to the left side. Dragon makes a good move at the 15 to the 10. And knocked out of bounds at the 7, but flags are down all over the place.
Another penalty on the plate. How Dragon got away from those 2 defenders is beyond me. He just kind of ducked. And they both went for him high. Another example that you got to tackle low. You can't go for these guys high. And penalty seems to be against Roselle Park, though.
A big clipping penalty called against the Panthers. And that will set things back again. Time and time again this afternoon, we've seen big situations that have been curtailed by some keen penalties.
Up until these last few plays, the second half was a lot better than what we saw in the first half. But all of a sudden, the yellow flag brigade started falling down again, and they are marking off a big 15-yarder against Roselle Park, moving the ball all the way back to the 30-yard line.
And it will be now 1st down and 22. So Roselle Park finds themselves a lot further back from that goal line than they had liked. And to the right side comes Phil Woods.
Well, I'll tell you, even if they manage to go in and score a touchdown here, they still need either a 1 or a 2-point conversion to be over that 8-point hump.
Clock starts again. Dragon rolling to his right side, looks to the air. Throwing out there for Mike Schreiner, and he makes a brilliant reception at the 3-yard line.
A great catch by Mike Schreiner going down the sideline. He was guarded fairly well on the play by Manny Slaughter, but Schreiner dives for it. We'll look at it again. A tremendous reception. You can see Slaughter had him, but Schreiner stopped back for the ball, diving, keeping 1 foot in bounds, makes the catch inside the 5-yard line. That is the catch of the game.
Timmy Cooks had a couple of good one-handed grabs, but Schreiner with a tremendous lunging catch at the 3-yard line. Goal to go for the Panthers. Bob Schreiner to the left, off tackle. And very close, but not in. Right near the goal line, it'll be 2nd down and about a foot.
Quarterback Roy Dragon showing that there's maybe, about a half a foot to 6 inches to go for that touchdown. They're very close. Clock winding down now to 5 minutes remaining in the game, and a touchdown here will put Roselle Park in a position where if they can get a 1 or 2-point conversion, they can have a very comfortable lead.
I would bet on Bobby Schreiner getting the call. Goal to go at the 1. Schreiner, touchdown, Roselle Park. Schreiner off the left side with 4:41 to go in the 4th quarter. And the Panthers now with that 8-point lead again.
Well, we're running out of adjectives to describe Bobby Schreiner, but he is doing it all. A great way to end his high school career here at Roselle Park. 3 touchdowns this afternoon, went over 1,000 yards rushing, giving him 21 touchdowns on the season as there's an injured player on the field. But Roselle Park now with an 8-point lead, 20-12. And Bruce, this is the important conversion right here.
Let's take a timeout. The score, Roselle Park 20, Roselle 12. Back with more football in a moment.
All the natural joys of pregnancy should be yours. The planning, the wonder, even choosing your baby's name. But be sure to remember much of Dime's advice. See a doctor as soon as possible and do what he says. Exercise, eat wisely, and get plenty of rest. You can also do your unborn another big favor. Stop smoking. The March of Dimes thinks your baby deserves the best possible start in life.
Injured player for Roselle Park appears to be okay. Here comes the point after touchdown. Dragon will hold. Schreiner's kick is up. It is good, and that is a big extra point. Roselle Park now leads 21-12, and if Roselle's going to win this football game, they're going to have to score twice.
That was the big extra point. It puts them over the 8-point hump. A 9-point lead now, as Bruce said. They must score twice in order to take the lead or to tie it. Bobby Schreiner getting his 3rd touchdown of the game. You look at quarterback Roy Dragon. He has had a fine afternoon, mixing up his plays, running and passing, moving his team downfield. And in the second half, the Roselle Park offense has really taken charge off that ball.
And Mike Schreiner appears to be okay. He's being looked at as far as his ankle on the near side of the field, some extra tape. And with 4:41 to go, Roselle's got a big task ahead of them. There's a look at the 2 deep men for the Rams, Darrell Smith and Ron Brown. And Bob Schreiner will kick off.
Roselle Park now 4 minutes and 41 seconds away from being 9-0 on the season, undefeated.
Schreiner hits a squib kick, takes a funny bounce. It's loose. And Roselle recovers at the 25. That's where the Rams will put it in play, 1st and 10.
Roselle never really able to get the handle on that kick as it was loose, and we have seen that time and time again, especially the second time we've seen it this afternoon, a loose ball. There's been Chris Vita, number 65, very instrumental in that drive through, a couple of key blocks on some of the big running plays. There he is, Big Chris.
Good football game he's played. Cummins is going to have to go to the air. You can see Alderman is putting on another jersey in order to be eligible as a receiver. He's trying to get off the other one.
That was his kickoff, I think, jersey that he put down on the kickoff.
Now he's back to his old number 78.
And old number 78 has really, win or lose, he has played a well of a football game. He has been all over the field, offensively blocking, but especially on defense. He has been really, really tough.
Derek Walker's okay. He's back in at the wide receiver position. Pitch out to the left side comes Darrell Smith. And he is wrestled to the ground. Good play by John Papchak, the nose guard.
Johnny Papchak, he's only 5'6", he goes 170, he's a senior, and he made a good play wrestling Darrell Smith. And let's see, did not go out of bounds as the clock is still running. Look at it again. Look for number 8, Johnny Papchak. He'll come into your screen in a second. And good night to Darrell Smith.
This has been a game, Jeff, with a lot of standout tackles.
Has been good open field tackling.
2nd down and 8, and Cummins is going to have to go to the air soon. John back to pass, looks across the middle, throws, and it is picked off by Mike Schreiner.
Oh, what a play by Mike Schreiner. This man does it all, offensively and defensively. We have one Schreiner graduating, and this guy is ready
He
to take
is ready.
over.
23rd interception of the season for that linebacking troop and secondary. And let's watch it again.
Interception number 4 on the season for Schreiner. That time, Timmy Cook cannot hold on to it. It went off his hands and into the hands of Mike Schreiner. And Jeff Hill looks like he could breathe a little easier as we come up to 3 minutes to go in the game.
3 minutes for that undefeated season for Roselle Park. And you know that's on their mind right now. Bobby Schreiner almost fumbled, but hung on to the football and picks up 5. Second down and call it 4. Pickup of 6 on the play. Inside handoff, Bob Schreiner again, propelling his way and carrying people to the 18-yard line. Big gain on the play of 15 yards. There's a look at this field, Shaw Field at Roselle Park. Great crowd on hand and a nice facility. 1st and 10 at the 17, Roselle Park with 2 minutes to go for that unbeaten season. They want more. Bobby Schreiner to Pater, touchdown. 17-yard run.
And they are pouring it on now. Bobby Schreiner, his 4th touchdown of the season, his 22nd touchdown of the season. His 4th touchdown of the game, his 22nd of the season. And he's got to be close to, at least, he's got to be over 150 yards rushing in the game, probably closer to 200. But we don't have the official stats yet on him.
27-12. A 4th quarter explosion here by Roselle Park. And what a hand for Bob Schreiner, who comes off the field.
And Schreiner, as timeout is called by Roselle Park. Bobby Schreiner being congratulated. Schreiner has a 5-touchdown game on the season. That was in the 40-0 win against Bound Brook. So he's only 1 touchdown away from that.
He scored 32 points against Metuchen and 32 points against Bound Brook. And every game this season, he has been over 95 yards. That's consistency. First game, 110. Second game, 141. Third game, 98. Fourth game, 103. Next, 97. 123, 123, 137.
And this
then
game,
today.
And then today, at least 150 yards. And if he had over 70 at halftime, he has gone at least double that in this half.
Oh, sure. $154 to go for an undefeated season for Roselle Park.
I'm sorry, Bruce, you see the crowd on the sidelines. I'm kind of wondering what kind of celebration is going to take place on this field once the game ends, and Roselle Park are the winners as they're going for 2 here.
Roy Dragon rolls to his right, looks, throws back against the grain, and it's caught by Kevin Purcell for the 2-point conversion. Beautiful play.
He threw it, rolled out to his right, and threw it back across to the left side of the field. Purcell was open, and he got it. And a happy group of Roselle Park players and their fans doing the line dance. We've seen that a lot this year. The group in the line with the high kicking steps there. Contrasting styles, the dirty legs of the football players who have been sludging it out in the mud and in the trenches.
29-12. Minute 54 to go, and in just a moment, Jeff Schneider will begin the tough task of getting down to that field.
I'm more worried about the ladder than anything else.
Okay. Back deep for Roselle. Darrell Smith, number 32, and Ron Brown, 25. And they're setting up this football the way the midshipmen used to kick off.
And Navy made that kickoff very famous, that squib kick.
Pete Piccarelli will boot it off. A victory that the entire Roselle Park team has to be proud of. A cohesive team effort, offensive line, defensive line, running, passing, receiving, everything. Kick is taken by the up man, Keith Starks, and he returns it to the 40. Minute 47 seconds to go. And there's number 32. And Jeff takes off the headsets and walks to the field. We'll get your comments, Jeff, in a couple of minutes. Roselle, let's see what they can do if Johnny Cummins goes right to the air. Cummins back in the shotgun. John looks across the middle, throws the swing pass, complete to Darrell Smith, who is decked immediately by Bob Schreiner. Picks up 6 on the play, 2nd down and 4. Minute 9 to go. Rams in that hurry-up offense. They have nothing to be ashamed of this afternoon. They played a valiant football game. John Cummins finally goes down. Cummins dancing around, and Les Swick was on top of him to make the stop, and the clock continues to tick. 46-45. Roselle Park, the Group 1 North Jersey Section 2 state champions. They won that outright. No other team qualified by the total points. And looking to cap this unbeaten season today. They've already won the Mountain Valley Conference Mountain Division. "19 seconds to go. Back to pass again. Throw to the near side, and a good defensive play by Mark Viola, who came over to knock that ball at the last split second away from Derek Walker. Clock shows 5 seconds to go. John Cummins played a fine football game today. Panthers playing that Valley division, not the Mountain division. They have captured that. They have captured state crown, as I mentioned, and 5 seconds they will have an undefeated season. That's it. That's what remains. 29-12 the score. Strong second half, especially, let's say, the 4th quarter by Roselle Park. Roselle making the most of this last time out. They'll have one more ditch play. Eddie Harrington, who has done an outstanding job as our other cameraman today. Thank you, Eddie. He's been outstanding all season long. Director Edmund P. De Palma, who's been outstanding to work with and who has really done a beautiful job. Ann McTague on graphics, who's so easy to work with and never gives me any slack when we type the names into the generator. Bowling on that football. Dragon holding it up high in the air. And that is it. 9-0-0. Roselle Park finishes with an unbeaten season. And they win this afternoon 29-12 over crosstown rival Roselle. And we'll be back with the post-game show in just a couple of minutes.
the natural joys of pregnancy should be yours. The planning, the wonder, even choosing your baby's name. But be sure to remember March of Dimes' advice. See a doctor as soon as possible and do what he said.
Back at Shaw Field in Roselle Park, a classic football game this afternoon. Roselle Park is unbeaten. They are 9-0-0 in the season. They win it 29-12. Let's go down to Jeff Schneider.
Thank you very much, Bruce Beck, and I'm down here with a happy coach and a couple of the star players in today's game. Roselle Park defeating Roselle 29-12, and the crowd here at Shaw Field letting you know who they think is #1 on the season in the state. First of all, Coach Hill, congratulations on the undefeated season.
Thank you very much.
Coach, it seemed like in the first half you had your hands tied up with this Roselle team. They were doing a lot of things. You changed your strategy a little bit in the second half. You came out a little stronger. You're able to move the ball better offensively. What did you adjust in the second half?
Well, we had a minor adjustment in the defensive backfield. We did basically the same things we've done all year. We just stayed with the best things that we've done all year, and eventually they began to work.
Coach, undefeated season. I know that there's really, at a point like that, there's no room for improvement. What did you think was the strengths of your team this year?
I think we have an outstanding bunch of athletes. We had 18 seniors, fantastic leadership provided by these two co-captains over here. These are the two finest captains I've ever had. They're just fantastic athletes, young gentlemen. They work extremely hard. I've never been involved with people that prepare so hard, weight training, out of season. These are three-sport athletes over here. These are some of the finest athletes you see in New Jersey, these two right here.
Defensively, your team looked really sharp again today. They were able to contain Roselle when it really had to, getting down there, making the interceptions. What's the key to making the interceptions and reading the defense as well as these players do?
Well, defensive secondary has been coached very outstandingly by Frank Antonelli. They have over 20 interceptions this year. They've been very sound and very outstanding all year. We've been well prepared. We feel we've broken down films. We've scouted extremely well. Our scouting crew, Pete Osiello and his bunch, have done a fantastic job preparing us for this game. And we just hung in our zones and tried to get our linebackers underneath, and eventually we got the interceptions and made the mistakes.
Okay, Coach, again, congratulations. A great season. Let me get over to talk a couple of players here now. First, quarterback Roy Dragon. Got the whole rooting section here. Roy, congratulations on a great game.
Thanks a lot.
Offensively, you seem to be more effective running, especially to the left side of behind Chris Vida and Les Swick. Was that basically where your offensive game plan was designed, to run left?
Yeah, we've been running there all year. They're two of our better linemen, and they really execute their blocks well.
Big play of the game. The play that probably iced it was the pass down to Mike Schreiner down in the corner. He made a great catch on the play.
Yeah, spectacular catch. That was all him. I just laid it out there, and he got under it, and really excellent catch.
You looked like you were a little shaken up. You missed a couple of plays. What basically was wrong with you?
They had tough defense, and they were all over me, all day. I got hit a couple times, took a few shots, and I was sore a little bit, but I came back and tried to play anyway.
Okay, Roy, thank you again. Congratulations. Great game. Here's the man right here, Bobby Schreiner, on the afternoon. I don't know if you know this, 203 yards on 33 carries, 4 touchdowns, giving him 22 touchdowns on the season. Went over 1,000 yards, a great way to end your high school career. Bobby, the running game was working very well, especially in the second half. What were the adjustments that the team made?
The line during halftime, we went over special blocking, and we ran to the left side. And I like to thank all the linemen, because they keep asking me to tell the viewers about the linemen. I want to thank all the linemen. They're great. They really are.
We got them in during the game. We noticed every big block that they were making, springing those holes. That had to be one of the more physical games you guys played all season.
Yeah, they were tough hitters. They were probably the most physical team all year.
Defensively, you came up with a couple of big hits, causing the fumble on the safety. What happened on that play?
Well, the guy, he kind of the punter lost the ball, and somebody popped him, and it went into the end zone. We almost had it for a touchdown, but they recovered it.
And on your interception?
Well, we forced the passer to run to the left, and he just threw it up and over the guy's head, and I was right in the right spot, and I got it.
I'll put you on the spot. You went through a grueling 9-game schedule in high school. You're finished now. Any thoughts at all about what colleges you might want to attend?
No, not at this time. I'm going to wait.
Going to wait and see what happens?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Bob. Congratulations. Okay, Bruce, if you can hear me up there, Roselle Park finishes the season undefeated, 9-0, a 29-12 win over crosstown rival Roselle. And if I could get out of here, Bruce, I want my turkey.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jeff. Let's recap the scoring in the game in the first quarter. At 7:39, Roselle Park went up 2-0 when Bobby Schreiner made that tackle in the end zone to force Roselle to give up the first 2 of the game. Then at 3:44, Roselle Park made it 8-0. Bobby Schreiner a 4-yard run. The kick failed. Second quarter action, Roselle cut the lead to 8-6. John Cummings a 35-yard touchdown pass to Ron Brown. The run failed for the 2-point conversion. Halftime 8-6 Roselle Park. Third quarter action, Roselle Park made it 14-6. Bobby Schreiner a 4-yard run. The kick failed. Then at the 1:53 mark of the third quarter, Roselle cut the lead down to 14-12. John Cummings a 17-yard touchdown pass to Derek Walker. Pass failed for the 2-point conversion. In the fourth quarter, Roselle Park went up 21-12. They went up to stay when Bobby Schreiner ran in from a 1-yard touchdown run. Bobby Schreiner hit the point after. And then at 1:54 of the fourth quarter, Roselle Park 29-12 when Schreiner went 17 yards to pay dirt. Roy Dragon's pass to Kevin Purcell, good for the 2-point conversion. And if there was one play this afternoon that typified the kind of game it was that brilliant catch by Mike Schreiner running the pattern on the left side of the field and Roy Dragon hooking up with them. And let's go back to that play one more time. You can see Dragon going back. Watch this reception by Mike Schreiner. Just a brilliant grab. The far side of the field enabled Bobby Schreiner to run the 1-yard touchdown to put Roselle Park out in front